In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the C3 Friday Free-For-All, the show for Carolina Panthers fans by Carolina Panthers fans. The big game is upon us, the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Los Angeles Rams. There's not a ton of Panther news to talk about, but what there is, there's some pretty good discussions to be had. Like I said at the start, this is your show. If you want to come in and join the podcast, be a part of the conversation, the link to join is in the description of the Facebook and YouTube video. And I just posted the link to join in the chat box down below. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, boys. Let's roll. Once again, let me bring in my Friday free-for-all faithful here. Nick Montero, what's up, brother?
What's up, Cody? What's up, everybody? Just hanging out with you guys, ready to talk some Panthers football, and gonna play a little Halo too at the same time.
Hey, multitasking. Let's go. Don't get teabagged too hard while we're talking about these Panthers, man. Don't use the Friday free for all as an excuse for you getting sniped, bro. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, man. But happy to have you on, brother. Let's go to Kenneth. Panther Pickle looking like it's coming to us from the bottom of the ocean. What's going on, bro?
I'm good, guys. I'm real good. I liked some of the news I heard this week, and we just waiting. I've made up my mind that I may not like who the head coach is, but ain't nothing I can do about it. So I'm just gonna move forward and be good.
That's pretty much all we can do at this point. Yep. It's like no matter how much we, bitch and moan about Matt Rhule, it appears as though we're stuck with him. But hey, man, we're going to be stuck with him together. So at least we can get through this with some good friendships. Not last. I don't know what I'm saying. Drew, AJ Lindsay from up there in Maine. What's going on, bro?
Nothing much, Cody. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Happy to have you back on another free-for-all, man. It's been I don't know why it feels like it's been longer than a week since I've done a free-for-all. Maybe I just miss my boys. That's all it is, man.
There you go.
Next, let's go to Brad joining us once again. Brad, what's up, bro?
Not much. Just enjoying living up here in the Pacific Northwest. Got off an hour early from work. Ready to talk some Panthers.
Perfect for the free-for-all, man. Absolutely.
Yep.
Perfect, man. This next guy, I'm pretty sure, owns a 25% stake in the C3 Panthers podcast. It's Jay Stubbs. Jay Stubbs, what's going on, bro?
What's up, everybody? It was a beautiful 75-degree day in Charlotte, North Carolina. In honor of the great late Sam Mills. Keep going, baby.
That's right, man. Sam Mills gonna be a Hall of Famer, man. Hey, we get to count that as a victory, man. Another Panther entering the Hall of Fame. Dude, shout out to Steve Mills, the legendary Steve Mills.
Now remember David Tepper, he tried to get rid of it. But they ain't gonna fly.
We ain't gonna let that roll. No, we're gonna keep pounding no matter what anyone says. And shout out to Sam Mills. And then last but certainly not least, Kevin Boshoven. Hey, your grandpa was trying to find you. He left a message on the Tuesday show.
Grandpa Pete?
Yeah. Did you ever get that sorted out? Everything's okay with Papa?
Nah, Papa gone.
Oh, bro. Rip, bro. R.I.P., man. Damn, you hate to hear about it.
That's he was gone.
Oh, where'd it go?
The hell, man? Why you got crap?
Damn, bro, he killing his grandpa.
Damn, bro. Well, he sounded kind of elderly. So
I can feel you're broke up. I can hear you're all broke up about it.
Very choked up.
Got that inheritance.
Yeah, man, I thought you were about to cry about it. But, hey, man, we're here for you if it's dead or alive. How about that, man? So, once again, hit hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell for every single time the C3 Panthers podcast goes live. Boys, let's jump into it. I wanted to give everybody the opportunity to speak on the Carolina Panthers bringing back our man Steve Wilks to be our defensive backs coach. I'm just going to open it up and just start this discussion. Who wants to jump into this?
I am glad to see him back.
Yeah, I mean,
Same.
let's be real here. I mean, for the most part, I understand that he filled a guy who left for a lateral move, and that's kind of a red flag. But every hire that they've made has been an upgrade outside of like maybe Ben McAdoo. Like McAdoo is a little bit of a, I don't know how I feel about that hire, but every other one,
right?
The offensive line coach was an upgrade. The defensive line coach seems like he'll be an upgrade. Steve Wilks is an upgrade. I mean, they made some really solid hires. Now, I wish they would have made these hires, 2 years ago, but I mean, better late than never, right?
Now, only if we could have got an upgrade at the head coaching position.
Well, yeah, then we wouldn't have half the staff, though, I think, which, I mean, it is probably fine still. But
I just hope that, I think one person in particular that he could help a lot is I wasn't all impressed with CJ Henderson. I'm going to be honest. The third rounders, I mean, he could be great. We all know corners sometimes take a little bit, but maybe he can help him out a lot, But we'll see.
I think. I'm sorry. I think you can. Trey Boston was on WFNZ today talking about Steve Wilks, and he said he believes that Steve's going to come in with these young corners and really help him out quite a bit. I was thinking a little bit. When Steve was secondaries coach, he kind of had to play what Sean McDermott wanted, which was a lot of zone.
Well, he was the DC too, right?
Yeah,
he was
and then
the
when the
DC
year
player.
he was the defensive coordinator,
2017.
he actually wanted to use more man coverage, if you remember.
He blitzed like crazy.
But our corners were traditionally zone corners, so it was hard for them to learn to do man. Then after the first year, he was gone. He was at Arizona. So, and these corners we have were actually their talent. Their main talent is man coverage. So
they're the type of corners that Steve Wilks would love to get his hands on too.
Exactly.
And I feel like regardless of what you think about names like Josh Norman and James Bradbury, whatever they did or went on to do, I think that both of those guys would probably credit much of their success to Steve Wilks and what he was able to impart on them in their time here. I think that's, both of those guys would tell you how knowledgeable he was. Hey, how about this? Many of us felt like, one and done in Arizona with Josh Rosen as his quarterback. Kind of never really got a fair shake in Arizona. So, I'm just happy that we have him back. This is my favorite hire out of all the ones that Matt Rhule has made to date. I mean, the guy was born in Charlotte. He's from here. He has a history with the football team. And as Kenneth already mentioned, that pedigree with the type of corners that he likes, the Panthers are built for that now more than ever. I mean, you look at Jaycee Horn and CJ Henderson. I mean, that could be just what the doctor ordered for those two young guys, especially CJ, who, hasn't been here very long, but he had some rough patches last year. For a young guy like that, a mentor like Steve Wilks, I think that could be incredible for him.
I love the hire. I just don't see how it's going to be a big impact on the team, though.
I think that he'll have a really big impact I think he'll benefit. The people who are going to benefit from coaching, honestly, I think are going to be Jaycee Horn and Jeremy Chin. Now that being said, I know we're talking about CJ Henderson, and I don't want to badmouth the guy or anything, but we got to remember last offseason they were talking about how he was thinking about retiring after his rookie year. Right. That's a guy who there are multiple sources who've indicated doesn't particularly love football. So
Right.
we kind of, I mean, I know a lot of people are saying, yes, he's going to help CJ Henderson out, but I mean, I would caution people to temper expectations with CJ Henderson's development.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as a third DB or a fourth, on the depth chart, and like we don't owe him anything. So I mean, like I said, the third round pick was tough, but I think if we can bring Stephon back, Stephon, Jaycee, and if we keep, we'll probably trade him. But I like Keith Taylor as well. So Steve Wilks he's a walk in here and be like, damn, I ain't never had this much, talent on the secondary ever.
And to kind of piggyback off that, I'm going to, back to what I was saying before the show started. Gilly, it sounds like on Twitter and from a couple people I've talked to, is a luxury at this point. I wouldn't expect him to be back unless he's willing to sign a very team-friendly deal.
And they get the draft pick back.
Right.
I think he'd be here, man. I really do.
I believe Gilly will be back. Also, there's another corner is going to be I forget his name right now. We signed him, or we got him from Denver last year.
AJ Boye.
AJ Boye. He's on a 2-year deal here, so
I think Boye will get cut.
Is he on the team for this next year?
Yes,
yeah, 2-year deal.
Okay.
Yes, he signed a 2-year deal. We save a little bit by cutting him, but I mean,
they'll try to trade him first. They'll try to trade him first and then cut him.
Well, we might end up drafting a corner if we cut all three.
Well, let me ask you all this.
You look at ESPN, they got us taking one.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Let me ask you all this. I feel like when we bring up Dante Jackson, like most of us are kind of like, well, it's a foregone conclusion. We're going to let Dante let him go. Let him go test the waters and see what he could end up catching on the free market. Do you think that Steve Wilks coming back maybe changes the Panthers' plans on Dante, or is that still kind of a foregone conclusion to us?
Cody, how much money do you think Dante will get in the open market?
I think
like $7 million a year, maybe.
He's projected to draw about $12 million a year.
Yeah, I'd rather just spend that money on Stephon Gilmore if we're going to do all that.
Well, so here the thing you got to remember, like again, this is referencing Scuttlebutt, and this is 3 degrees of separation, but from kind of the some folks that I talked to this weekend or this last week or so, the priority in free agency is going to be the offensive line. They're not drafting an offensive lineman. They're drafting a quarterback. That's what's going to happen.
I don't think so. But go ahead.
And we saw what their free agent moves for offensive linemen was last year. So God help us.
Right, but they're going to try. But they're going to have more. So right now they have $16 million in cap space, which isn't very much. You figure $10 million of that's going to go to our draft or our rookies.
Well, we'll see. But, I mean, $10 million with 4 picks. We'll see.
Yeah, well, and that's that. Like I said, I expect they're going to start trying to trade people.
Well, you got to look. They can restructure Shaq Thompson. They can restructure Taylor Moton.
Yeah,
right.
Could, if they wanted to restructure Christian McCaffrey, I wouldn't do that. But you also can restructure Robbie Anderson. And if
Drew, I'm with you, Drew. I'm with you.
Can get his cap hit lowered.
Them three are the only ones I want to restructure. The rest of them,
and
I want to.
The problem with those restructures is that you're still kicking money down the road. So it's like it's going to be paid at some point in time.
But I'd rather restructure Moton, Shaq, maybe not Christian and Robbie, because they're going to be here. They're going to be here for the next 4 years, regardless.
I don't think Robbie's only got another year on his contract after this year. So I don't think they're going to restructure him. I think
he should have another
2 years.
He should have another 2 years.
Who are we talking about?
This upcoming year.
He only has 1 more year of guaranteed money. Next year, we have an easy out.
Yeah, but I would restructure Robbie Anderson before I restructure Christian McCaffrey.
He might leave once Matt Rhule gets fired, though.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they try and trade Robbie. I mean, honestly,
that would be awful.
But Brad, you were saying that,
whatever
okay,
we
we're
do.
going to invest in the offensive line, but we're going to draft a quarterback. We're not drafting a quarterback at 6 because Matt Rhule won't make it through the season if we draft a quarterback at 6.
Yeah, I don't think he's investing long.
No, that is the plan. Like, you can pencil Kenny Pickett in at 6. That is happening.
Then Matt Rhule.
So we're gonna get to who the Panthers are going to be interested in at 6. But to stay on this cornerback conversation real quick, so when you go to Spotrac.com, they're listing Stephon Gilmore's re-sign price or his market value at $14.1 million, and that's for Stephon Gilmore. Now, so two things. Do we think that's an accurate number? Like, would Stephon be willing to sign for less than that? And if no, are you okay for bringing back Stephon under that kind of money?
He's not signing for less.
Even
sign
if they
for a lot less.
Right. It comes down to how much is he willing to, like, what price are we actually talking, right?
Like, what if he does 2 years, $20 million, and he gets to stay home? You know what I'm saying? That's not bad.
Well, you can rewrite the contract to where most of it's going to be structured workout bonus money instead of all upfront guaranteed money. So
how many years do you think he has left in the NFL?
Probably 1.
3.
Because like most of these guys, they want a big contract right before they retire.
I would offer him a 2-year deal, but his wife and him both have said he made a statement at the Pro Bowl, and his wife said that he's not playing for nobody else.
And he's not going nowhere else. This was his favorite team growing up. You know, people got to put that into account. Like, this was his favorite team. But the point with Stephon Gilmore
is Josh Norman's too.
Him and Jaycee Horn would be like, that would be amazing to see for the next 2 years.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
But
the
again,
knowledge he can bestow on Jaycee Horn alone is worth the price.
But again, like I said, I mean, I think I think they look at Stephon Gilmore as a luxury pick or a luxury signing at this point. I think that if he does re-sign, it'll be after we picked up a center, left tackle, and guard.
At this point, isn't everybody on free agency a luxury sign, if we're being honest? Because we don't really need any of them.
I mean,
if it's not a quality O lineman or a quality safety or linebacker, in my opinion.
This is the free agent list right here. Stephon Gilmore, Matt Paradis, Cam Newton, Hassan Reddick, Daquan Jones, Justin Burris, J.J. Jensen, Dante Jackson, Frankie Louvu. So it's like there's no big major name in our free agents.
Did we resign Jason?
We J.J. Jensen, we did. We were signing this week.
That was recently.
The GOAT.
God, what a wasted pick, that long snapper.
Trey Smith.
You know what?
Yep.
J.J. Jensen, if y'all look how much he made, in reality, J.J. made about $790,000 this year. And
that
to
dude's
be bluntly honest,
he's 55.
well,
bro.
to be bluntly, he only signed a 1-year deal. He very well could be cut.
They're going to draft another one. They're going to draft another one.
A lot of this may depend on how this rookie Fletcher plays in camp.
Right.
He went with the crap last year, but who knows?
They brought him back specifically to try and to push Thomas Fletcher. It's not a matter of they're going to be fighting for that roster spot. It's not a guarantee that he's going to be the long snapper.
So,
and Cody, you probably don't want to hear this, man, but it makes a lot of sense for us to re-sign Matt Paradis on a 2-year deal because we owe him like
it really does
anyway.
Yeah,
we're going to pay him $8 million anyway. If we could re-sign him even for say $5 million, then we're actually going to save $3 million.
Right, but again, it's a matter of he hasn't been good. I mean, since he's been here, and the way like they're in win now mode. That's what they think. They know that they have to. It's shit or get off the pot time. If they don't start winning now, if they don't basically force open that playoff window,
they were in win now mode last year, bro. So that turned out.
But there's a difference this year. Next year, they have to start paying those players that they drafted in 2020. Next year is when they're going to have to start paying Jeremy Chin and Derek Brown. They have to start entertaining contract extensions for those players.
No, next year is going to be Brian Burns and DJ Moore. What's going to be?
Yeah,
DJ
but
Moore's-
he's right though in that the guys that are close. So, for example, if Jeremy Chin, continues to be Jeremy Chin, those types of players you seek to sign before
Early.
their contracts run out. So that way, it's like, okay, this guy is a centerpiece of our defense. He's a part of our long-term plans.
Like we
and
did with
let's try
CMC.
and- Yeah, kind of just like
be careful with that, bro. Just be careful with the signing.
No, I hear you. I hear you. But like, I think that's a general consensus is that normally you try and, you try and do stuff like that. So, for example, Brian Burns, we got coming up next year. DJ Moore, we for sure got coming up next year. So,
It's cheaper that way, right?
Well, we can tag DJ Moore next year too.
I think Brian Burns will be traded before this whole season.
Hell no.
Well, I think if there's,
I think
we just don't have capital for.
They're gonna get a quarterback from hell or high water, and I think Brian Burns is a part of that deal.
I believe the guy that could be traded is Derek Brown.
Hell no.
No, they're not gonna trade Derek Brown because he's a Matt Rhule guy. Brian Burns,
he's a rookie deal. I mean, that's cheap.
You can't take somebody 8 and then cut him.
Let me ask y'all this: who is more important? Who is more important to the Panthers D line, Derek Brown or Brian Burns?
Derek
It
Brown.
depends on if we re-sign Hassan Reddick.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest, bro.
That's a good point.
I wouldn't resign Hassan Reddick. I'd just let him go off in free agency.
I'm gonna be honest with the D line, man. I do not know.
To me, he's too light to play defensive end, and he ain't strong enough to play a true linebacker, and he don't cover good enough to play an every down linebacker.
So they've already said Scott Fitterer specifically said we need to get bigger on the defensive line this offseason. He specifically indicated that. Now that being said, like they realize that Brian Burns is small and he's not going to set the edge. Brian Burns should be playing outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense. That's what he should be playing. That's what he's built for. He's not built to be a 4-3 defensive end. He's just not.
That's also what he played in college, if I remember correctly.
Well, no, at Florida State, they would put his hand in the dirt a lot, but the same problems that we're seeing now is the same problems that I saw.
He's like TJ Watt, right?
And Hassan Reddick only weighs 235, really. So he's even lighter than Burns.
Brian Burns could have had like 30 sacks this year, if we're being honest. There's so many times he just did not make the tackle. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And see, like, I don't want to write him off. Like, I still think that we have not seen the best of Brian Burns as a player. But I think this next year, it's between him and Christian McCaffrey. That this next year is make or break for the kind of player that they're going to be going forward into the future. Like either Brian Burns is going to be a premier pass rusher that you can count on for 13 to 15 sacks or whatever, or you're where he's this marginal player that's good for about maybe 7 sacks a year, kind of like what he did this year. If he has a similar performance to 2021, then to me, he's not necessarily this guy that we have to make sure that we pay when it's time to resign him,
Yeah, but Cody, I disagree with you a little bit.
High on a guy. He's just coming off of a Pro Bowl.
Right. But
he gets double teamed a lot, man. Like he really does do a lot. Like he takes 2. Sometimes Derek Brown takes 2.
He disrupts the pass, like the quarterback in his motion too.
Well, I wonder if a lot of Burns's problem was lack of a quality coach.
He cannot make the tackle, bro. That's all it is. It's like finish the play. Finish.
Right. He goes for the strip sack instead of the actual sack most of the time. And that's great. I totally get that. I think I don't think he's going to get traded specifically because, like I said, everyone, whether you read between the lines, talk to people who follow that team closely. Everyone top to bottom in that organization, because of the way that they've drafted, the way that they've built that team, they have to win now. It's shit or get off the pot time. They're not going to trade away big name players to try and accumulate assets because they have to win now.
When you say win now, what does that mean?
It means they have to win. They have to go to the playoffs this offseason.
Well, and I feel like that's one of the problems that the Panthers always have is that every year we treat it like it's now or never. Yeah. Like it has to be this year, or we're embarking on some rebuild that we never actually commit to.
Yeah, I mean, Brad, you're not wrong. It's a must win for Matt Rhule. Nobody else, really, to be honest.
If Scott Fitterer doesn't feel that way either, because Scott Fitterer, from what it sounds like, feels the same way. Because, like I said, they drafted 7 defensive players in 2020. Next season, most of those players are going to be on the last year of their contract. So it's time to either extend them or they have to start retooling that defense again
with one draft pick.
Well, that's what Joe Person said on the other day on his little athletic, I guess, podcast. He said that he doesn't think, if the people he's chatted with, the Panthers' goal was to draft a quarterback. The Panthers' goal is to get a quarterback in free agency or the trade. Now, somebody asked him a question: would that maybe mean trading a player? Or no, they said if DJ Moore was trading an option. He said they love DJ Moore, but let's be honest, for the right quarterback, there's not a player on this roster safe.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And he also specified, he said that he still believes they're going to go. The primary design is to get a quarterback in free agency and a left tackle in the draft. Number 6, somebody asked him about trading back, and he said he doesn't think Scott Fitterer wants to trade back. Scott Fitterer said a year ago that when you have pick 6, you don't get that pick often, and it's not for most of the time you're not helping yourself trading back.
Yeah, but this draft, and I'm not hating on the draft. There's some very talented players, but this is not like in an all-time, stacked draft. Now, with that being said, sometimes they end up being good drafts, but picking 6 this year is really not going to be.
Well, I don't agree with that at all. I think that this draft is talent loaded. You're going to see people. This draft is talent rich at almost every position except for the quarterback position.
Yeah,
but we got one pick.
Even then,
I think it's deep in offensive line. And linebacker.
Those quarterback. So let me ask you all this though, right? So if Joe Person is correct that the Panthers intend to go free agency with the quarterback, like what quarterback are you gonna bring here? But then also still have your 6th pick to get a left tackle.
You're not. I mean,
that doesn't make sense to me. And going back to what Drew was saying, coming off of a Pro Bowl, if you were going to trade Brian Burns, right now is the time to do it when his value is at the highest. And so we've already kind of talked about Deshaun, and we know that conversation isn't going away. But I figured this was worth the discussion too. Now all the talks is that Kyler Murray is on the outs with the Arizona Cardinals. He wants to be paid more. They just paid their new head coach a big new contract. So, he unfollowed the Arizona Cardinals on Instagram and all social media, scrubbed all of his pictures. So, people think that, man, maybe Kyler Murray might be pissed off enough that he's going to try and force his way out of Arizona like Deshaun Watson was trying to do in Houston.
He wants $55 million, bro.
And that's another thing. If you do trade for him, you have to imagine that whoever trades for him is not going to step foot on the football field until he gets a contract, right? Like, that's how I'm viewing it.
I think Kyler's talented. I love Kyler Murray, but I'm not paying to do $50 million a year.
He's not worth $55 million.
I think it's a power move. He's just doing it.
He's trying to pad his contract. That's all he's doing.
Exactly.
And honestly, I don't think Kyler Murray's going anywhere, and I think if he does go somewhere, it's going to be baseball because the Oakland A's own the rights to his. He was still a top 10 pick. Yeah, so I think that's plausible, but I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he'll get extended.
Well, to be honest with you, I wouldn't I really don't want him here. I mean, to me, some of his issues are the fact that he doesn't dedicate himself to improving his passing game. I know people don't want to hear this. Let's look at Buffalo's quarterback Allen. He purposely went out each offseason and dedicated himself to improve his passing game. That's what he wanted to do. He worked extra hard to do that. He's a good quarterback because of that. Kyler Murray wants paid because he wants his big money because he can run fast. That's once you take his legs from him, and Sam Darnold's probably an upgraded quarterback if you take his legs from him.
Well, the thing with Kyler is like once D-Hop went down, it was over for him. And that's to me as a quarterback, that's just like once your best man goes down and you tell Smith, that tells me, hey, look, you need a good receiver to be successful. And he's a good quarterback. I'm not trying to hate on him. I'm just saying.
No, and I think one of the things that's kind of caught up to him too is people when he was coming through the draft were worried about, would his body be able to withstand the NFL rigors, and I feel like the past 2 seasons in a row, he's missed a couple games due to injury. So, and again, you can't really hold that against him if he was able to finish out the season. But I just think that if you're looking for that $50 million contract, money a year, I don't necessarily know that he's earned that yet. And that's no shade either. Like, no one's saying that the dude's a bad quarterback, but I don't know. But see, like, there's our fan perspective, right? And even though we might not want to entertain Kyler Murray for this reason or that, it goes back to David Tepper. And with what Brad was saying, like if we have this mindset that, okay, this is our year, we're going all in yet again, and we're pushing all of our chips on the table, then it's like, to me, this is 100% the kind of move that I think David Tepper would be willing to make. Like this guy is so desperate for a franchise quarterback. Like I really see him going through any lengths to obtain one. But that's kind of dangerous on one hand.
Yeah. That's why Brad said.
I don't see Kyle Murray as a franchise quarterback. I really don't. I mean,
I would love to have Kyler Murray. So
the Ravens' backup quarterback Hundley actually threw the ball a lot better than Kyle Murray ever has.
Well, speaking of the Ravens, they don't even want to give Lamar Jackson $40 million.
Well, Lamar Jackson doesn't have an agent. He's representing himself, and to be bluntly honest, I wouldn't give him $40 million. He can't stay healthy enough when he is on the field. Ravens fans are all over social media over this, and they're like, win a game of the playoffs.
I would give Lamar $50 million
before you get top dollar elite quarterback money.
That dude has no receivers his whole career.
I think the thing I think that everybody's kind of glossing over here, we're talking about going out and picking up a free agent quarterback. What free agent quarterback's going to come here? The most money we're going to have is about $45 to $50 million. And that's assuming we restructure everybody's contracts, we release some extra players and cut some dead weight or make some trades. $50 million. What free agent quarterback is going to come here for less than $20 to $30 million a year?
And the head coach might be on the way out.
It's not happening, right?
You're right.
And they know it. It's not a matter of like Joe Person can say that they're going to try and pick up a quarterback. They want a proven talent. That's what they want. I'm sure that's what they want. But deep down in their heart of hearts, they know if they want a quarterback, they're drafting him.
They're drafting. You're right. And like, let's not forget, like the rookie scale, to me, is the move, and that could be next.
But if they want to win, if they have to win. If that is the reason, drafting a rookie quarterback in all intents purposes that ain't ready to start and going with Sam Darnold for another year won't get you that reason.
But I disagree. They just need something to sell. They need this is new rookie guy, and we won 8 games. We know promising. That's all they need.
That's the thing though, and that's kind of back to what I was saying earlier. They don't view Kenny Pickett in that building. They don't view him as not pro ready. They view him as the most pro ready quarterback in the entire draft. They view him as somebody that will come in, make few mistakes, play within the system, play safe. They view him as Kirk Cousins or Teddy, as basically an
I
upgrade
disagree.
version of
Same
Teddy
thing
Bridgewater.
I
they said
really
about
do
Sam
disagree.
Darnold
I
last
mean,
year.
okay,
And Brad,
I
Brad,
don't
when you
dislike
say
Kenny
they,
Pickett.
when you say
But
they,
let's be
you
real.
mean
If you walk Kenny
Matt
Pickett
Rhule.
behind this current
I mean
offensive
that,
line as it
and not just
stands,
him. Scott,
you might as well throw the towel in the rest of the year before it gets started.
but that's what I'm
Because
saying. The
I
priority
disagree.
is not.
I
They're
just
not
don't
signing.
believe.
Brad, you're right, bro.
There
Brad,
are
you're right.
quarterbacks that you can get.
You're
There are
getting
quarterbacks you can
the
get.
mediocre
Now
guy for
you're not
5
going to
years.
you're not going to get an elite quarterback. There's not an elite quarterback in the NFL that's going to come here for no matter if you want to give him $50 million or not.
You see, Kenneth, I feel like one of the issues here is that we're also having to ask ourselves: does David Tepper know the difference? Like, is he looking at like for example, right? Someone that I think we all kind of put in the same kind of quarterback category is like a Kirk Cousins and a Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, they can play well in rhythm, and they've taken their teams on legitimate playoff pushes. But then at the same time, it's like they're not creating a lot on their own, right? To a certain degree, even though this year has kind of rewritten a lot of the narratives on Matt Stafford, we were all pretty much saying the same thing if the Panthers would have gotten Stafford. Like, yeah, he's got a strong arm. He can read the field well. But when things start to break down around him and when he doesn't have a ton of talent around him, it's not going to go well for him. And look no further than his 13-year career with the Detroit Lions.
It's just insult after this is the same guy that told us that Taysom Hill was good.
I never said good. I said never got a chance. And I'd take Taysom Hill over Kirk Cousins. I don't care who wants to hate my ass.
Oh my God!
I'll hate you right now.
Smoking crack, homie. You were smoking crack.
I don't agree with that at all.
I'm not advocating.
No, he's just dug in at this point. He just
Cody,
I'm not advocating
his wheelchair wheels are just dug in on that hill.
No, I'm not advocating to bring Taysom Hill to Carolina.
Of course, then
so my thing is, like, if we're going to have a quarterback, they have to be able to do everything that a franchise quarterback can do. And by the way, welcome Tony Dunn to the show mid-lunch, by the way. Hope
dinner, here, look, check this out. Is that Matt Stafford? All right, so I used to have this. I bought a used Lexus back in the day. It was one of my favorite cars I ever had. It was just the ES 300. It is the Lexus version of a Camry, right? I mean, they're both built they got the same engine in them. It's just like the different suspension, some small things. So one's a Lexus, they're both made by the same company.
Price tag.
Well, it rides way better than Camry. It was dope. But like Matt Stafford is the Lexus ES 300. Kirk Cousins is the Toyota Camry, and Taysom Hill, Jimmy Garoppolo, these other fools are like a Hyundai. Like, I'm sorry, it's not a fair. You're shitting. I think you're insulting Kirk Cousins or Kurt. I insult him by not calling his damn name right. But you're also insulting Matt Stafford, who Matt Stafford was on a look. I mean, he had a couple of good seasons. Like, him and Jim Caldwell had it going on. I mean, he did, like, when they made the playoffs, he did lay a turd in that game. But I mean, it's the Lions. Look, I mean, you put them on the Rams, and all of a sudden the Rams are there, dude. They're in the Super Bowl now, and they weren't with Jared Goff.
Yeah, but that's my point.
They didn't make it with Jared Goff, bro.
Jared Goff's the Camry. Stafford on the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, exactly.
And then have them go to this. Matthew Stafford was
I'm not
never
saying we
going
would go to the Super Bowl, but we sure wouldn't be
to the Super Bowl.
But we sure wouldn't be 5 wins.
Mad. Like, we wasn't down on Matt Stafford because Matt Stafford. We were down on Matt Stafford because of our O-line. That's it. If our O-line was solid, we'd be like, cool, we're on with Matt, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly. He was going to get knocked up out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and not to kind of segue off of that, everybody's acting like the game plan is get an elite quarterback and win with a strong passing game. That's not what Matt Rhule wants to do. He wants to throw. True. He wants to run the ball 35 times a game or more.
Yeah.
He wants to win with the strong. He doesn't. They don't. The way they look at the way that everybody is reporting that they look at Kenny Pickett as he's not going to throw interceptions. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to make clean underneath throws. He's athletic, so he can run the ball. He can be the third running back if he needs to be an RPO, right? He can do all. He can play within the system, and that's all they want. They want a system quarterback. They want
What
someone
you
who's going to
just
play.
described there is what they described Sam Darnold to be last year.
Right, but the difference is that there isn't years and years of tape indicating that Sam Darnold that Kenny Pickett's garbage. I'm not saying that we should draft Kenny Pickett. I think that's a horrible mistake. I think that if you're going to take a quarterback, take Malik Willis, because I mean, the upside's there, right? He's got the arm talent, he's got the athleticism, he's got the traits.
Basically, either way, if you draft a quarterback, Matt Rhule's getting fired during the season.
Nah, I think if you draft an offensive lineman, that means that Matt Rhule's getting fired. Like drafting an offensive lineman is the right thing to do, probably.
I think he's getting fired because one player don't make the team.
Wins.
I mean, the odds of him keeping his job beyond next year are slim as it is, but it's going to take an offensive lineman alone will not save his job.
I would say quarterback.
Ben McAdoo was in Jacksonville Jaguars for 1 year in 2020 and played quarterbacks coach. Okay.
So, go ahead.
Gardner Minshew was the quarterback for Ben McAdoo then.
Oh my Lord!
And now he won't be expensive since he's up there in Philadelphia as a backup.
As long as they're cheap, I think anybody who's cheap is going to be in play to play next.
Well, the Eagles' top need is edge rusher.
So,
but again, if you're going to get Gardner Minshew, you just should have kept Teddy Bridgewater and called it good.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're spinning the wheels here on all these quarterbacks that, like I said, to me, a lot of these guys are kind of like the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like there's not that much of a difference between them. And that's ultimately the point that I'm trying to make. And I think, in today's NFL, we're talking about the difference between Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett. And you're looking at the talent that Malik Willis has and says, well, if that guy can figure it out, he has more tools and more throws in his arsenal than a guy with less talent would have. I want to use that to segue to
I want to say this though, Cody.
Minshew
stats were a lot better than your boy was.
Who's my boy?
You know who your boy is.
No, I don't. Who's my boy? Everybody wants to tell me who my boy is.
Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence.
Look at his stats compared to Minshew's.
So
hit you with the ninja sword, bro.
If anybody wants to use those soulless stats to say that Gardner Minshew is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence, have at it, dude. I'm not even going to fight you. It's like, what, dude? At the end of the day, you can only say so much. But I will say,
you're right. Taysom Hill's the best.
Listen, we're gonna get to terrible quarterback takes because Tony has one of the most terrible quarterback takes of this draft cycle, and I wanted to get all of you guys' opinions on it. This is a video that the professor recorded, I believe, today. Oh, let me unmute the professor.
There's no need. Your stock is skyrocketing.
Let's hear this one more again.
Hey there, Malik. Don't do the combine. There's no need. Your stock is skyrocketed since the Senior Bowl. I mean, you killed the interviews. You showed off that arm. You showed off the mobility. And what did Kenny Pickett do? He stumbled. He fumbled those tiny little hands. Go to your pro day. Throw with your receivers on your home turf. Show them what you want to show them when you want to show them. But there's no need for you to go to the combine. You're already the number one quarterback in the draft. If you make it past the Lions, that might even be surprising. If you make it past the Panthers, that would be even more surprising. The Washington Commanders would likely take you. But don't let this, I got to climb from the second round to the first. You're a first rounder. You don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to draft you? Now, if you truly believe that you need the combine to get into the top 10, maybe not. Don't listen to Cody Lashney. Challenge Cody Lashney. He cannot. He's already there. Hey there.
He's already there. So, Warren, let me in order to have this conversation, we must welcome the Bat Daddy to the show. Bat Daddy, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, Panther dudes and dudettes? How we doing? Hey, Tony, man, You're 100% right, Tony. I agree with you.
Yes.
By the way, man,
Yep.
business must be good, sir. You see how pristine that car looks on the inside, nice and clean. Goodness gracious, man.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with that 100%. The reality of the matter is, if you look at the quarterbacks in this class, they all have one trait, maybe one trait, right? Malik Willis has the athleticism and the arm talent. Like if you watch the pro day, the Senior Bowl tape, right? Freaking with the wind blowing, Kenny Pickett couldn't throw through that wind. Malik Willis, that was a hot knife through butter. I mean, he's got the traits to be an elite quarterback in the NFL. He just needs time to develop.
It rained at the Senior Bowl, and Kenny Pickett could not hold on to that ball. I'm sorry.
So my thing is this: I agree with all those criticisms. So look, okay,
Exactly.
so and I know that Brad and Kenneth know what I'm talking about. There are articles and reports going around that there's a lot of NFL scouts that don't see franchise first-round quarterbacks in this year's draft. That they don't consider Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett to be in that tier. Now, granted, these are anonymous scouts saying things, so it's like, who knows what is or isn't true. But my thing is this. If you're Malik Willis, you played for Liberty last year. You had 3 games where you threw 3 interceptions. You're not done proving anything. More importantly, if you're Malik Willis and you go to your combine and pro day, is there any kind of threat that it's going to tank your draft stock? And all of a sudden,
it can make it go down. If it's at the top, it can only go one way.
But one more thing. If Malik Willis showed an unwillingness to go and participate in his, combine and pro day, then as a scout, you're like, okay, well, what doesn't he want us to see? Why
you mean like Joe Burrow? You mean like Trevor Lawrence?
You have to buy a better team.
But those guys,
and to kind of piggyback on what Tony was saying, he didn't say not do the pro day. He said do the pro day with the people you feel comfortable with. Show them what you want to show them, which is what he should do. He should not go to the combine and run drills.
I disagree, bro.
Okay, I watch the combine every year. I have to say this. I want Malik Willis to go to the combine because I'm selfish and I want to see him at the combine.
No, but
I want to see his 40 times. I want to see his agility drills. I want to see all them scouts and all the media go, oh, wow. And I want him to hear compared to all the other fast quarterbacks.
Here's
the
thing. Here's the thing with the whole situation.
You want to see it for a selfish reason.
You're exactly right. I don't deny that.
Tony's right because, look, as he said, you don't have to prove anything else at the combine. As you said, go to your pro day, feel comfortable, run your routes, throw your passes, and let the chips fall where they may.
I disagree. I disagree
right,
wholeheartedly.
Go ahead.
Because one, Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence were consensus #1 overall pick in the draft.
Yes.
2,
ain't looking like
if you go to the combine, see, a lot of people understand is like this dude is trying to get paid. The higher you get drafted, the more money you get. As simple as that.
Not much money. Much more money.
I mean, but
if you're going 6th instead of 17th, I mean, you're going to get paid more money.
And to add on, and to add on to Jay Stubbs' argument here, if you look at the project quarterbacks, in recent years, guys like Josh Allen and Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson, they threw the ball at the combine because they still had a bunch of stuff that they had to go out there and prove. It didn't matter that like Herbert was 6'6", 200.
If you're going to the Senior Bowl, you're going to the combine. I mean,
yeah.
I got a point to make on this. First is that he may not be a consensus #1 overall pick in the draft, but right now after the Senior Bowl, he already catapulted up to the #1 quarterback prospect.
Yep.
Right, and that's the thing is that it's not like. And Josh Allen, some of these other guys that you reference were not the got prospect in their quarterback class, right? It's like Malik Willis leapfrogged Kenny Pickett. Now, my question to you is this: is that if you're Malik Willis, what does a good combine performance change?
Exactly.
Does it change anything? Or what happens if he runs the gauntlet, they run that gauntlet drill or they do some of that and the passes are off, and then the narrative creeps in that he's inaccurate again?
What happens if he gets hurt?
And
he's still a project quarterback regardless.
Right.
But we all know,
Project
we kind of
quarterback.
know who he is, though, or we think we know who he is. We think he is the guy that has the most upside. I think the guys that need to go to the combine and shine are those dudes like the strong guy, the Corral, some of these other guys right now. I just don't understand when your stock is at the top, what it's going to do. Like, look, is that if he runs a crazy 40, is it going to change much? If he jumps out the gym and they're like, no,
so.
I mean, these are like cool athleticism. They're cool things, but they're not like.
So
it helps Mac Jones.
If he runs a low 4.4, that's an extra couple $1 million that my man made.
No, they already know he's
not.
athletic. There's no
So,
question
right.
about his speed right
Now,
now. Nobody's going
taking a
always
quarterback before 6.
Did it happen
Nobody.
with Isaiah
Lions.
The Lions
Nobody.
or the Texans.
The Lions
Or the
not
Giants,
taking a
Cody.
quarterback. The
Or the-
Lions are
yeah.
not taking a quarterback.
Who?
Wait, hold on. So let's go to Brad, and then we'll go to Greg.
So, and that's the thing, right? What do we know about Malik Willis? We know that out of all the prospects in this class, he's a boomer bust. He's either going to be a legit franchise starting quarterback, or he's going to be a bust. He's just going to be, right? Going to the combine isn't going to change that narrative. It's not. Because all they're testing is his athleticism, and he's already known to be the best athlete in this class. That's one of his traits. That's one of the reasons why he's getting hyped up. So trying to prove that you're more athletic than the rest of the guys when that's a known fact, that's not doing anything for your draft stock at all, right? The things he needs to demonstrate, the big knock on him, the big criticism is he's not pro ready, right? Well, you can demonstrate that you're more pro ready at your pro day. That's the point of the pro day, right?
Or the interviews.
Right. I don't think that there's a point to him going to the combine. I think that right now his draft, before, when we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, everybody said Malik Willis is a consensus second round pick, right? Right now, everybody's talking he's probably going to be either the number 1 or number 2 quarterback off the board just because of the upside and the traits, right? And if that's the case, you're not going to improve that by going to the combine. Show them what you want to show. Do your pro day, but skip that combine.
Yeah.
Do you think he has more to lose than he has to gain?
I don't think he has anything to gain. Period.
Yeah.
Like I think, and that's kind of the thing, right? Like I don't think that coming and showing that you can do the 3-cone drill is going to necessarily drop your draft stock a whole lot. I don't know that it's going to improve it. Yeah. I mean, it's
dude,
not.
His character, he's gonna do it, man. He wants. They said the whole Senior Bowl was gravitating to him. Coaches, players, media, everybody.
Well, yeah, he's gonna do it, man.
Let's go to Greg. I said we'll go to Greg next. Go ahead, Greg.
I got a question, Cody, because you're pushing this real hard. So you're telling me with all the footage you've seen of Willis, okay, you're going to base your decision on whether he's this guy or not on one day with no fans and no pressure, no pads, and maybe say he throws a really great out route. You need to see that out route one more time, be thrown perfect, be thrown nice, and that's going to convince you, okay, he's the guy.
Like, so it's not just so let me tell you what it is, right? So the reason why Tony is saying, just wait and do it till the pro day. I'm saying do it at the combine for the exact different reasons. That Malik Willis, when he goes and throws at the combine, he has less control over the receivers that he's throwing to. He's not in control. You're taking a quarterback and you're dropping him into a scenario and you're saying, okay, let me see how you perform. Because whatever team drafts you, you're not guaranteed to go to a team with a great receiving core. You're not guaranteed to go to a team with a good offensive line.
But it's a dog and pony show, dude.
When you're at the combine, you give them a script that they're not necessarily prepared for, and you let them go at it. And if you're a competitor, I want to be able to see you pick up and do those kinds of things. And by the way, just to maintain consistency, I thought the same thing about Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow didn't throw at the combine, but I wanted to see him throw too, even though it was different because he was the number 1 pick. Like Jay Stubbs was saying, like there's a clear difference. To me, Malik Willis, if he is the guy that he says he is and believes himself to be, he should have no problem going to the combine and making all the throws like most quarterbacks do.
But on that same token, though, So one thing I want to point out, we didn't have a combine last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess I don't see what value, especially for him, he's going to get out of it. I mean, what's he basically going to prove there? If he's off throwing, he's going to prove he's not pro ready. We already know he's not pro ready. We already know he needs time to cook, right? So.
It's not like the argument that I'm making is not like you're going to see a certain specific throw or see Malik Willis do a certain specific thing that makes you go, oh, okay, now I'm comfortable drafting this guy. To me, it's the competitor, it's the willingness to compete, and as much as you guys think that might be some coaching mumbo jumbo. Dude, it matters to a lot of these scouts and players that are in NFL front offices. Like, look at how much crap players get, from a narrative perspective when they decide to skip out on their bowl game to start preparing for the NFL. They're like, oh, you're abandoning your football team and you're giving up on your guys and all this jargon.
Which is a tired argument too.
Right, but that's how they're
Well, how about you look at it like this? How about you look at it like they know they're going to be on the pro team and they are going to prepare for their next level instead of abandoning this team that they're going to be gone with after this game anyway.
Right.
I mean, you can look at that a couple different ways. But more importantly, Cody, you're talking about you want to see what he looks like under pressure and dropped into a situation where he doesn't know the receivers and they're not all-stars. Well, you don't ever get that situation in the NFL. You have a training camp. You practice with these players every day. You know who you're playing with. So that's not – I don't think that really matters. And it's not like they're playing defense or covering these guys anyway. They're running routes and you're throwing to a point.
What's the worst? What would you rather have if you're Willis? Drafted by the Panthers or the Steelers?
Steelers probably.
Yeah.
Well,
you still get drafted by a better team.
Let's be real here.
Up to your career.
The Steelers' offensive line ain't no better than ours, to be honest.
Better coaching though.
But ask yourself, maybe it's more about Willis if he decides to do the pro day, because it is his decision. If he decides to do the combine, maybe it's more about competing with Kenny Pickett to see who is
exactly
quarterback off the board.
Exactly.
A lot of these guys have egos and they want to be the top. Kenny Pickett goes to the combine and does what
Malik doesn't.
Do.
Yes, that's a fantastic point.
I don't think he's better, but he may go and do this just as competition against Kenny Pickett.
Right, I'm happy that you made that point, Kenneth, because I feel like we're all doing this thing where it's like, okay, now we're reacting to the Senior Bowl, and we're like, oh yeah, Malik Willis, that's QB number one, and to you and me, we might think that, but how sure are you that Malik Willis has truly separated himself from Kenny Pickett just based off of this one Senior Bowl? Because if I'm being honest with you, I don't think that he truly has to the NFL community. And to echo what Kenneth just said, what happens if Kenny Pickett goes to the combine and looks fantastic, runs good, does all these things good? Now people are talking about Kenny Pickett and they're not talking about you anymore. At least you can have, what Kenny Pickett does and compare it to what Malik Willis does at the combine. So that way you can't mention one without the other. Hey, I think both of these guys are still.
I see what you're saying, but you want to go back to the combine thing? Let's look at Vernon Golston and Mike Mamula. Workout Warriors destroyed the combine and what it is.
Sam Darnold. He's on our team.
Well, and to be
let's
fair,
be fair here. There are underclassmen who didn't go to the Senior Bowl. There's Matt Corral, for example. He wasn't able. To be honest, the Riddler looked real good in the Senior Bowl.
The Riddler.
And he's nowhere near the first round.
Oh.
Well, and I'm going to be real with you. Like, it doesn't matter. There are no teams before pick number 6 that are actively looking for a quarterback, or at least that are advertising that they're actively looking.
I heard Detroit was like going crazy.
I disagree. I think Detroit can save a boatload of money. It's like 30-40 million. by simply cutting their waste of a quarterback they had last year that they screwed up and traded him 2 first-round picks for that ain't worth it.
Yeah,
it was basically a salary
they
dump.
got 2
I
first-round
messed
picks
that
out
up,
of
but
it.
you know
Exactly.
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about,
but even
yeah,
and he's not a clean break this year either. I think you've still got another year before you can cut him and actually have cap savings.
Well, yeah, not this coming season, but that goes back to the say if you say quarterback ain't ready, he doesn't have to be ready, but he's still like Trey Lance on the bench for a year in case something happens.
Right.
Cody, is there going to be a big difference between the first quarterback taken and the second, like draft wise?
Yes,
that's a great question, and it actually goes back to what Brad just said too. If we are looking at picks 1 through 5, all the teams ahead of us, maybe the Lions, but there isn't a team that screams, "Hey, I have to have a quarterback right now." But the danger in that, though, is that all of those teams could be looking to trade down with teams that are willing to go and get that quarterback.
Pittsburgh.
And to me, that leads back to my thing with Malik Willis. It's still prove it season, man. Like, even if the teams in the top 5 don't love you, man, listen, what if the Pittsburgh Steelers believe that they're a quarterback away and they're willing to mortgage their future to go up and grab their quarterback of the future? Like, to me, that's a relevant part of this, I think.
Well, and like I said, I mean, that barring a trade up, because at this point it's kind of hard for us to sit and speculate and say, okay, somebody's going to trade up to get a quarterback into the top 5, right? The only team really in the top 10 there's no teams picking before us that just scream we need a quarterback right now.
Right.
It's just us. And there is nothing Malik Willis can do to dissuade. I mean, if we are picking at number 6, I'm telling you, it's gonna be Kenny Pickett. He is viewed as the most pro-ready quarterback in this class.
And Matt
he's
Rhule
white Teddy Bridgewater, bro.
I know,
he's white Teddy Bridgewater. That's what he is.
I safe quarterback.
Safe and
Teddy Bridgewater.
Cheap.
If all they wanted was safe, they would get a free agent quarterback, because there are quarterbacks in free agency.
No, man, you get a quarterback for 5 years on a rookie scale and build a team around him. That's what they want to do.
Yeah, but if Matt Rhule's fighting for his job, he ain't going to wait 5 years for a rookie to develop.
Right, but then you're also back in that situation where I'm telling you, like, what are you going to do? They don't have very much cap space. If you look at their resources, they only have 5 picks, and they have at most $45 million in cap space. Right? I mean, you're not going to be able to get a free agent quarterback. They know that. They have to know that.
Okay, Brad. So we take what you were going what you said, and if they draft a quarterback, Matt Rhule gets fired. Who's to say the next coach that comes in doesn't want anything to do with Kenny Pickett?
Exactly.
That's probably what's
the gamble, bro.
That's it right there. Yeah, that's the.
So you're handing the next coach that comes in, because he's like, Kenny Pickett's not my guy. He can't run the offense.
You don't know what Temper's going to do. Nobody knows what Temper's going to do. Temper may turn around and say, "Let Matt Rhule draft his quarterback, play him, give him another year."
Exactly. I think, Drew, you raise a good point, and I think we're going to learn a lot about what the kind of long-term plan for Matt Rhule and things are like that through free agency and the draft. Right?
Is there a long-term plan, though?
Because if you sit back and you say this, is that we don't really believe in Pickett or Willis in the first round. We don't have the capital to really do anything in free agency that's going to make a significant difference. And then we just go draft an offensive lineman. I think you're saying, hey, Matt Rhule, man, you're going to have to really pull off a Houdini act.
Especially when his coaches, most of his coaches left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
David the other thing is that, like you said about the quarterback thing, is that if they let him pick somebody high up like that,
in
like
his contract, bro,
Willis,
in his contract.
I don't know if he gets to control the draft
He
independently.
does. He has final say on all roster decisions, all of them.
He's on the hot seat. He don't got final say over jack shit right
I know. I feel like that.
I disagree, bro. I think
Matt Rhule decision makes
that he will say, "Hey, effer, it's in my contract. I'm picking this dude."
Well, I mean,
David
that would be crazy. That would be some crazy. If I was David Tepper, I would fucking fire him right there in the draft room if that's the case.
He probably
would be fired on draft day right then and there because he's got too many experienced head coaches on that staff now for Matt Rhule to go out and jack everything up like that. Number
he looks
two,
like me. He smells like me.
Scott Fitterer,
snaky like me.
If Scott Fitterer, Dan Morgan, and over half the coaching staff says that's a bad pick, chances are Tepper's going to say, Matt, you need to rethink this. And in the end of the day, Matt may not get what he wants. You got to remember, this has happened before. David Gettleman stomped his foot, kicking, screaming for Vernon Butler. Nobody's forgot about that. He kicked and
David
screamed.
Tepper hired.
That's a whole different regime, my boy.
And he got it. And look where that
went.
David Tepper hired Matt Rhule because he looks like him. He reminds him of himself. David Tepper's from Pittsburgh.
I am one of the things that I'm fearful of, and these past few years have only continued to make me more fearful, is that David Tepper just does not know what he's doing, and he's willing to pull the triggers on terrible decisions for the Carolina Panthers.
Facts.
So it's like taking away the keep pounding at the games. Then you hear that Matt Rhule has it in his contract that he has final say. Well, why would you give that to him? Why would you give that to him? And then go get a general manager just to be his lapdog? Like
Cody,
it makes no sense.
Cody,
ice on the cake to keep him away from the Giants.
He was so desperate to get a quarterback, so desperate. We seen David Tepper get so desperate for a guy he loves that he will risk it all. He loved Matt Rhule, so he's like, "Yeah, you get anything you want. You can have final say. Even your wife can have a draft pick. Fuck it."
all college coaches, when they come to the NFL, all of them, Chip Kelly, Pete Carroll, virtually all of them have final roster say. All of them, because that's what they have in college. I mean,
David Tepper's from Pittsburgh, so is Kenny Pickett.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
I keep hearing this, and I yet to understand it because I don't believe this, but I want y'all to help me understand this. In one turn, people say, "Well, David Tepper loves Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule's got all the power. He's got all the glory. He came from this. They both come from the Steelers. They both used to be cooks. They got all the love." Then at the very next breath, everybody says David Tepper's going to fire Matt Rhule after a few weeks of the next season. You can't have both, y'all. Either David Tepper loves Matt Rhule and is going to let him be there until for at least 3
I'm
or 4
saying
years,
he loved Matt Rhule.
He's going to fire him, or he's not going to listen to him at all.
I love some ex-girlfriends. I'm not with them anymore.
There's still people out there right now that said David Tepper brought Cam Newton back without Matt Rhule's approval.
Yes.
Now everybody that's in the organization says otherwise.
But as soon as Sam was healthy again, who started?
Yeah.
But I want to say that there was a report. I want to say maybe it was Sheena Marie. I forget who exactly it was, but that Matt Rhule wasn't happy with drafting Justin Fields, and David Tepper was. David Tepper did want to draft Justin Fields, but apparently,
I understand that.
Apparently, David Tepper acquiesced and said, "Okay, Matt, we're going to go your way. We're going to do your thing." And then, if you remember, then the narrative flipped that, okay, when we brought back Cam Newton, David Tepper was the one who stepped in and said, "Look, I listened to you the last time. In the draft, we went with Sam over Justin. I let you do that last time, but now we're going with Cam Newton." And if you remember, in the press conferences after we signed Cam, Matt Rhule did not look happy about it, bro. You could read that man's face and tell that this was a decision that was forced onto him, and it always felt that way.
He did say, "I'm not the man in the ivory tower making the decision."
He did.
Say that again, Drew.
I said, and as soon as he had the opportunity to go back to Sam Darnold, he did.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly.
Let's remember, in this upcoming draft, compared to last year's draft, there aren't as many yes master rule coaches as this year as it was last year. Because let's be frank,
you think that matters?
I think it does if David Tepper's in the same room and they know it. These they may work with Matt Rhule, but they know what everybody else knows. Matt Rhule's on a hot seat.
Yeah, that's why his coaches left.
And he don't have that many of his guys, and he has to.
They're all ex-head coaches too. They can fit in right.
Yeah, he has to approve.
Yeah, we got 2 head coaches, right?
Assistant coaches going to other teams. And
so
the tight ends coach wanted to go somewhere else. I think it was to Chicago or somewhere, but Matt Rhule turned him down and said, no, you can't interview him.
So let me pose this question to y'all, and I'll jump to Greg on this one. Do you think that it is a good thing now? Like kind of what Kenneth was just saying, that, it was Matt Rhule had the final say, so whatever he says goes. But now do you think that maybe since we have some more coaches on staff that do have prior NFL experience, that maybe we're not going to be worrying about that quite as much anymore? Like, does this NFL experience on our staff help things in terms of Matt Rhule?
It really just depends on Matt Rhule's mindset, because, I mean, I think that he's going to listen to experience more than he did before. I think he came in thinking he knew everything. He wanted things his way, and he obviously saw that it's not the way it works in the NFL. I think bringing in the coaches with the experience is him showing that maybe he'll listen to other people. I still don't trust Matt Rhule. I still want the guy fired, and I think he's going to be fired. I don't think he'll make it through next season, but I do think that him bringing in the experience makes him, maybe he'll listen to what they're saying. Because why else would you do it other than maybe shutting us up, fans and media up?
Yeah.
Well, let's not pretend these veteran, coaches were highly sought after. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they weren't, and that's kind of what we've all been saying. That this is the best that we could have hoped to have done.
Yeah,
but
they still have their own opinion. Remember, Ben McAdoo was right and when he was a head coach on the quarterback, the GM just didn't listen.
Well, and that's the thing too, is we're talking like we're all sitting there saying Matt Rhule's on the hot seat. We don't know that he is. We don't know that Tepper is fed up. We don't know that he's, for all we know, Tepper's more focused on the Charlotte Football Club than he is on the Carolina Panthers, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
can't say I blame him either.
Right, and that's why I've been saying, multiple outlets have been saying that the priority is going for in free agency is going to be the offensive line, because they don't have time to draft an offensive line and coach them up. They have to get some known quantities on that line, right? And the thought process is we want a simple, safe, not a quarterback who will play within the system and won't take unnecessary risks, and that is Kenny Pickett. I mean, multiple people.
We shouldn't even be quarterback.
I agree with that. I don't think that's the right decision at all. But at the same time, we have to think in the mindset of they have to win now, because the contracts, the way that they drafted, the way that they played this thing, the contracts dictate that they've only got a window for a couple of years with that defense.
Yeah, I disagree, but is what it is.
I disagree too. The reason I disagree is because I don't even know if the defense is in win now mode after this year. There's to be honest, we don't really know what the defense is going to look like going forward.
Now, Matt Rhule's in win now, but
Matt Rhule is definitely in win now. I do think that upgrading the offensive line through free agency is the right move, regardless if you take a quarterback in this draft or not. Right?
As long as you don't go get another Cam Irvin and Pat Elflein.
Well, right.
Think you go after the New Orleans tackle?
I think we're going to have to do both. Like, if you really want to fix this team, you probably should just say this, is that, sorry, Matt Rhule, you're going to die with this sucker. We're going to draft an offensive lineman, and we're going to get 2 in free agency. We're going to go out there with Sam Darnold. We're going to kind of tank and be in the running next year for a top quarterback. And we're going to do our best. Maybe you guys do well, but good luck.
Trade him back is the move. Should be the move.
that is the smart decision, right? That right there is the correct course of action. But that's not what they're going to do.
Yeah, no, Brad, you're not wrong. Like they're going to try to get a quarterback for sure. No question.
I agree. I think we're all on the same page. I think we all know what needs to be done. It's just a question if the people in the room,
and let's be honest,
I mean, like
we just don't want
if
to
you're on the hot seat, you
year.
gotta change things quick. And I think that we've seen that Matt Rhule has had a tendency where if he is so in charge of these roster moves, like contractually, like everybody is saying, then we've seen he has a tendency to be impatient himself.
He makes the right initial move, but then he pivots immediately. Like the first sign of resistance, he's out.
Yep.
Yeah,
I still don't think Tepper's done with trying to trade for a veteran quarterback.
You got to be done with that.
I see. We all see. We all know that we don't have a lot of assets to go trade for a player. That's obvious. But that's why I agree with Drew when he says that, because of David Tepper. Like, David Tepper is not just willing to wait around. And then again, and I think Tony's made this point before too, it's like if you draft a quarterback and, Matt Rhule is terrible again this year, well, then you're firing you're firing the coach, bringing in another coach, and hopefully he, still likes the quarterback that you drafted and doesn't want to draft his own. Whereas if you go and get a Deshaun Watson, let's just say, and then this year turns out to tank, you still have other coaches in the future that are going to want to play with the caliber of player like a Deshaun Watson, like a Russell Wilson. So I agree. I don't think that we're out of this discussion for one of the bigger name quarterbacks as much as it might not make sense to us. Go ahead, Drew.
I was just saying, until Deshaun Watson is traded, David Tepper's going to be in on it. At this point, he would give up 3 first-round picks and a defensive player. Even Joe Person on
Drew, you're right.
His athletic thing said flat out, David Tepper will give up whatever it takes to get a franchise quarterback.
The only way we make a move is we get Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson. Everything else,
I think those are the only 2 he's really going after at this point. Kyler Murray, that's a pipe dream. Arizona's not even.
I think he believes he can get him.
I believe he believes he can get Deshaun Watson because Houston's going to want 3 first-round picks, and David Tepper's like, fine, give him the 3 first-round picks. We want a defensive player. Hey, you can have Pro Bowl defensive end Brian Burns. Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trade us a guard for another player too while you're at it. Fuck it.
Let me throw this out real quick.
Go ahead.
The other day, I heard a guy on C3 podcast say this, that I have heard too many people say that Malik Willis is a project, and in the last 20 years, we've heard a lot of quarterbacks that's drafted to say they were projects. Russell Wilson was a project. Aaron Rodgers dropped because he was a project. Even Patrick Mahomes was listed as a project. That's why he didn't go real early.
Josh Allen.
I'm pretty sure that was T Baby that said that.
It was,
dude. Yeah. And guess what? They're all amazing.
Let's before you
Sam Darnold was a project.
Malik Willis a project. Let's see if he's a project, because there's been too many folks say he's a project, and these quarterbacks get on Sunday and say, "What do you think now?"
Yeah, but they project this.
I agree with what you just said, but the thing about that is, Kenneth, is every last one you just stated, all of the head coaches that were there were safe. They were either just signed or they were already cemented in their position. There was no head coach of the teams you just stated that was on the hot seat coming into that season.
But the one thing it does bring up, though, it was the one thing that Josh Allen's, the Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jacksons have illustrated to at least the football world is that these people who say that Kenny Pickett's the number one, we listened to them for too long. We listened to those people. We had those people. We had Mel Kiper or whatever his name was tell us that Jimmy Clausen was the They said the same shit about Jimmy Clausen.
Yes, they did.
And Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen.
Exactly.
And
And so
Sam
now
Darnold.
I think people are having the guts to challenge just whatever these 5 or 6 talking head scouts have told us. Yeah, these experts, and just make your own damn opinion. And I can tell you that.
All those quarterbacks you named, they got drafted to good teams.
Exactly.
Like Kansas City Chiefs were a good team when they drafted Patrick Mahomes. The Ravens were great.
Again, they went to teams that had head coaches who were solidly in their positions.
Well, I don't know if we would go that far with the Bills. You know, the Bills have become a good team.
But Sean McDermott was a rookie head coach.
Well, not to mention
I
that
think it was
Seattle.
Go ahead.
Russell Wilson was a 3rd-round pick. He was not drafted to be the starter.
Yeah, it wasn't Matt Flynn.
Neither was Dak.
Yeah, Dak Prescott wasn't either.
He wasn't a starter.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, all the and like I said, Josh Rosen in that draft with Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Josh Rosen was heralded as the can't miss. He is the most pro-ready quarterback. And he's not even in the league, I think.
Smart. I fell for it. He's so smart. He talks philosophy.
Was that the same year or a different year?
Same year.
Same year.
Wow.
If you're the secondaries coach and you're in the meeting when somebody says, but Matt Rhule, Kenny Pickett is the best, he's the most pro-ready quarterback, don't you think you're going to say, hey, bitch, I heard that shit, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as soon as he hears them words, that's what he's going to think.
Yeah, remember Mac Jones was the most pro-ready quarterback. Remember?
Well, but the difference is that, like I said, you've got tons of people. I mean, I know that some people have mocked Malik Willis to Carolina at pick 6.
I saw a quarterback today.
There's a lot of people who have a lot of sources that are saying that everybody in that front office, everybody on that coaching staff, everyone in the Carolina Panthers on Mint Street loves Kenny Pickett.
I believe.
Man, don't trust Jason Lockhan for it, dude.
He's not just
when Jason Lockhan used to be on the NFL Network. I liked him quite a bit.
It's not just him though.
But he is a flat out there is a lot of draft so-called experts who say our first pick at pick 6 is going to be a corner.
Yeah, I know.
Now you tell me them people don't know diddly dog about what's up and down.
Well,
but see, here's the thing though. I think like two of these things can be true at the same time, right? So so hold on, before we go, Bat Daddy has to leave. He's getting ready to set up for his show. Thank you for joining us, Greg. You know we love having you, man. Shout out your stuff so they can go and find your content, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. It's always fun. I just had some time to kill. I knew you were on tonight. I say, hey, it's always fun talking Panthers football with friends. So thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm about to go on a show here at 9:00. We go live at the Super Civil Servants podcast tonight. We're talking about Book of Boba Fett, Peacemaker, Reacher, maybe some Tommy and Pam. We're talking about the new Black Adam teaser, all the DC slates of movies, news, all that good stuff. So if you're into entertainment and stuff like that.
Hey, Greg,
I didn't get back into Preacher.
Episode 5 and 6 though
of
Book of Boba. You watched episode 5 and 6 of Book of Boba Fett?
Oh yeah, I watched it all.
Dude, that was amazing.
Yeah, that's getting real good.
Now, 7.
I'm not even a big Star Wars fan. Like I'm not a freak about it like a lot of other fans are. But dude, I really enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett. And you know what? I need to go on the show at some point. I really enjoyed.
I need to check it out for sure.
I think the season finale of Peacemaker is tonight, right?
Next week.
Yeah.
Next week, okay.
Yeah,
but there is a new episode tonight, right?
Yeah.
I just got done watching. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I did too.
If you
I really dug Book of
Mandalorian,
Boba Fett for the starfighter that they brought back.
Because
that shit was dope, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That shit was dope.
It is a fantastic
definitely
show.
come check it out. Sounds like y'all are into this kind of stuff. Like I said, live chat room. If y'all ever want to come on, hit me up. But we got I'll give you a snippet of what we're going to talk about. At least for me, if you like Boba Fett and the best 2 episodes were episodes 5 and 6, then there's a problem with the best 2 episodes of the show not even being about Boba Fett.
Yeah.
All I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just grateful.
helmet
I'm
on.
just grateful they got something right, bro. That's all.
You got to keep that helmet on.
Yeah. So, but I'm out. I appreciate it, y'all.
All right,
See you later.
I gotta
see you
rock out
tomorrow,
too. I gotta go pick up my kid from the ice rink.
bye.
All right.
All right,
sounds
guys.
good.
Have a good one.
Tony.
Thanks for
Later,
joining, Professor.
Tony.
Yeah, man. So, man, what was it? I had a thought that I was gonna say right before we had the.
You were going to say trade for Deshaun Watson another time, most likely.
I mean, I probably would. Damn, man, I hate that. I had something fire I was gonna say. Shit, I don't know. But my thing is this, man. Like, I'm looking at this team right now, and I'm thinking, you know,
What the
we all know that we need O-line help. We're hoping that Christensen and Deontay Brown step up. And then, you know, this franchise quarterback discussion, like we're going to be talking about this all offseason. Oh, and now I remember what I was going to say, okay? So, okay, Jason Lock-on-Fora. Even if you think that guy's a piece of shit and is wrong about whatever he says, like I have no doubt in my mind that he is reporting on the things that he is hearing. Because why would you report that a bunch of teams are in love with Kenny Pickett or whatever, only for it to turn out to be false, and then you look dumb? Like, I have no doubt, especially seeing how wrong the scouts have been the past few years on these quarterbacks, like Justin Herbert, like Josh Allen, like Lamar Jackson. Whenever I hear everyone, jumping in saying how much they love one player or another, yeah, I kind of do believe it. It's not like we should have a bunch of faith in these scouts that continuously put out these terrible takes every year.
Welcome to the media, bro. They just say shit.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Well,
they do. They really do.
There's been
I
like
believe
times
that.
where agents have paid like scouts to make their player look good.
Right.
Yeah, Jimmy Clausen.
Yeah.
Prime example.
Yep.
Was it Mel Kiper
Yep.
who was sucking
Yep.
on?
Mel
I was
Kiper was
retired.
paid
He's not a
to
good
talk good
quarterback.
about Jimmy Clausen.
Yeah. And then the dude had the audacity not to give Cam his number. Fuck that dude.
So it's like that's why ultimately I believe it though. If you're hearing reports about certain teams being enamored with Kenny Pickett, I'm inclined to believe that. You know.
Now, Cody, your breakdown of him, like, I'm gonna give you credit. The past couple of years, I've been, the guys we said, hey, this is is the best tackle, this is the best corner, this is the best quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hype you up or nothing, but here lately you've been kind of spot on, except for the Taysom Hill.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling
but
you,
how
bro.
do you feel about Kenny Pickett? Like, if we take him 6, are you like, cool, I can run with this, or you like?
So my thing with Pickett is this: I'm not down on him like a lot of other people are, because at the end of the day, I still value tape over everything. And at the end of the day, the man threw 42 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, and it's not like the Pittsburgh Panthers were loaded with talent either. I saw him. He broke record. He broke Dan Marino's records for I believe passing yards. Yeah, like the man, the dude has talent. And
I'm sorry.
I'm in the mindset with Kenny Pickett that if you put him in the right scenario, he might not have the highest end traits, but he has enough traits to be successful. I thought that Matt Jones could be successful in the NFL. He just needed the right pieces around him. I don't know if I would love Kenny Pickett at number 6. I really think with a lot of these quarterbacks, you can make good arguments and bad arguments, like for why you should and shouldn't take them at 6. That's why I go back to this whole combine thing. Like, none of these guys are done proving it, right? Like, yeah, Malik Willis has all the natural talent in the world, but you have some questions about other things. One is ability to not just throw to the first read, go through different reads.
Zach Wilson last year,
right? And then you look at Kenny Pickett, and then he might not have the hand size. He might not have all the things that you want from a franchise quarterback, but his numbers and what he was able to accomplish in his final season, they were really good.
Yeah,
so,
Kevin, you're right.
None of these guys are
I got something for you,
Zach
Cody.
Wilson made one throw and pro day, and it was like second pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read you off some numbers, Cody. Tell me if this is a good quarterback. Okay. Last year in college, 3,970 yards passing, 171.1 passer rating, 31 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
See, I already know whose numbers those are. I know who you're reading off because we talked about this the other night. That's Teddy Bridgewater, isn't it? That's Teddy Bridgewater. Yep. I knew it, man. And but I do think that when you look at what Pickett did at Pitt versus
pro style offense, by the way.
Yeah, that is a fantastic point. He was under center, and that is something that they will, that he will have to do in the NFL. So, I mean, I just think that his season was more impressive to me than what Teddy Bridgewater did at Louisville. But again, these numbers they're not everything. Like there's that one quarterback, I think it's Bailey Zapp, this year, threw for like 6,000 yards and 60-something touchdowns or something crazy like that.
If numbers mattered, then Mac Jones would be the first pick. Because he had a record-breaking year.
Tony, let me ask you this: Desmond, I have an awful time saying that last name.
Ritter.
Ritter. Yeah, I have no idea why I can't say that name right. But at the Senior Bowl, he didn't really look all that bad. He's not worth the first, of course, but I mean,
I don't trust the Senior Bowl. I really don't.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Daniel Jones was like the MVP like 3 years ago. Of that shit.
Well, listen. I don't watch a lot of college football. I just have to take this one step at a time. So, I mean,
listen. He had a really good.
You talk about Kenny Pickett's numbers before his senior year. Kenny Pickett never threw more than 13 touchdown passes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Neither did Joe Burrow.
100%. Just as a caveat, that was the same thing with Joe Burrow. He had that 1 year wonder kind of thing. By the way,
are you saying Kenny Pickett's a future Joe Burrow?
They said
no. Well, and that's the thing is like.
But man. Like, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
We don't know who any of these people are going to be, right? We just don't. I mean, Kenny Pickett come out. He broke Dan Marino's records. He could be frickin' Dan Marino, the second coming of Dan Marino. We don't know that, right? And we don't know. We don't know. Like, all we can really do is base our assumptions on the information that's been provided to us, right? And I mean, the general consensus amongst almost all draft nicks, even the ones who say, I wouldn't take a quarterback in the first round this year or whatever, is that Kenny Pickett is the most pro-ready quarterback. That he has a very high floor, but he may or may not have a very high ceiling either. I mean, the comps that I've seen most people allocated to is his floor is Teddy Bridgewater, his ceiling is Kirk Cousins, and that's really what
I heard. Derek Carr too.
But that's the thing is, like, I personally, what we know of Matt Rhule, he'd kill for a Derek Carr or a Kirk Cousins.
I'd kill for a Derek Carr.
I would too.
Derek Carr may be available.
I'd take Derek Carr.
but again, we keep talking about. I know that there's been this narrative that, like, okay, well, we can get Gardner Minshew on the cheap, right?
That's just Tony, bro.
We only have 4 picks, right? 4 or 5 picks. There's no such thing as cheap right now for us.
Well, we could trade back if we get Minshew.
Yo, Twan, what's up? Hey, y'all cover me for a sec. I'll be right back.
Man, I swear,
I'm all for trading back.
I'm finding a side team. I'm not dealing with Gardner Minshew in Carolina. I'm just not.
You can deal with Sam Darnold, but not Gardner Minshew.
No, I'm not dealing with Sam Darnold. Won't be the starting quarterback this year.
No,
and that's a big thing too. Like with the whole quarterback situation, is like none of us want to see Sam's ass back there.
Nobody does.
Not even they do. They know what they've got, right? They know he's not going to be the guy who's going to get you across the finish line. They can't even depend on him to not turn the ball over.
He can't even start the race, let alone down.
So and that's kind of what the point I'm making is, like, I think what they want, if they could go back in time They wouldn't have traded Teddy Bridgewater. They wouldn't have thrown him under the bus. They would have just rode him out another 2 or 3 years. Because that's literally the type of quarterback they want. They want a system quarterback who's just going to turn around and hand the ball off. That's all they want him to do. Maybe make a couple throws here and there play within system. Short intermediate passes, low risk. Don't do anything. Don't do too much. Don't be unnecessary. Just play within the system, and that's exactly what Kenny Pickett is. He's a safe
if I can
pick.
add on top of that, Brad, I think that if that's what we would be asking Kenny Pickett to do, I have no problem that he could do that well. That he can do it effectively. Like, the guy has talent. I don't want anyone to think that he's being hyped up unnecessarily. The guy can play football, and he is smart, and he is tough as shit. It's just, does he have that upper echelon type of talent that you want to see from a quarterback that you're picking in the top 10? I think that's a reasonable question. Let's
Cody,
welcome. Go ahead, Kevin. Who was that? J Subs?
Yeah, I was saying, does he not give you Jared Goff vibes though?
No, he's a lot smarter in my opinion than Jared Goff.
The small hands, the athletic. I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, Jared Goff is a lot of things, not athletic though.
The biggest thing about Kenny Pickett that bothers me, and maybe it shouldn't, I always ignored the smaller hand. Not necessarily ignored it, but I kind of put it on the back burner, But the other day when I watched him at the Senior Bowl and he was dropping everything left and right in the weather, he couldn't control that ball at all in the weather. That got me right quick. If we're just gonna ask the quarterback to go out there and fumble it, then we might as well keep who we got.
I don't take stock in Pro Day
either. So, but
Pro Day and Senior Bowls, I don't take stock in at all.
No, you can't.
Dude, either way, Kenny Pickett, Sam Darnold in the center. Either way, Matt Rhule's not making it through the season.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't think that. Us looking from the outside in, we know that Kenny Pickett's not saving Matt Rhule's job. We know that, but the general consensus that I'm saying is from a lot of media outlets, a lot of people with insider information. They love him. They seem to think that he can be that guy. That's not gonna. They don't want somebody who's gonna save Matt Rhule's job. They want somebody who's just not gonna make any mistakes.
But could that also be they want somebody to move up and come take the pick for 2 picks?
And that could be too. I mean, maybe they're smoke screening. I mean, that we've seen that kind of behavior before.
But right? Brad, you're not wrong, man. They Kenny Pickett and Matt Rhule, he recruited him and he loves him, and there's something to it for sure.
Tepper is from Pittsburgh again.
There's a bunch of different connections to Pittsburgh. Matt Rhule, gave him the offer to go to Temple, and he's a Panther. The Pittsburgh Panthers. Now he'd be a Carolina Panther. And listen, the comparison that you are hearing, and I don't know if it's a great one, it is Joe Burrow. And there are some similarities between them. I'm not saying that they're a 1-for-1, but we're gonna continue to be having this conversation. But anyway, I know my man Drew has got to jump out of here. Drew, I always appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, bro.
Big Drew.
Anything you want to tell the fans before you jump out of here?
Yeah, I just want to say, guys, I love coming on here, hanging out with you guys, hearing the different perspectives. It's awesome. Gives me a way to kind of get out of my own head about this Panthers team. So just thank you guys. Thank you, Cody, and everybody from C3 for doing this. And I'm going to check you guys out. I'll be listening to the rest of the show, and I'll see you guys next Friday.
Have a good weekend, bro.
Drew.
See you guys later.
Yeah, man. Happy you could join us once again, man. And then as we go forward, hey, Twan, you there, brother? Twan Don. I think he's muted right now. We're gonna leave him there. He'll come back when he's
just to throw this out there.
Twan,
there he is. I'm here.
Twan, you there?
I got a mouthful of calzone.
You're good, bro. Do you, man? Finish what you're doing. Go ahead, Kenneth. What are you saying?
They're just saying now, or I'm just now reading it, that the Rams will be out, will be without their starting tight end and their top backup offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think
he had
that, right?
He had gotten hurt. In the NFC Championship.
Hey, but low key, that backup tight end was doing some work, man. For real.
Henderson has been activated, so
yeah,
he's cheap on DraftKings. If anybody wants to,
So,
speaking of running backs, that's one thing talking about the Panthers. I don't mind doing a run first team. I prefer the run first team as a person of myself. I love the run first team. But I don't trust Christian McCaffrey staying healthy. I don't.
He could be a receiver, bro. He could be a Cooper.
I really don't. I would be all right kicking him to receiver, but
I don't think they do either at this point. They've learned they've learned their lesson. I think
But then why draft Kenny Pickett?
They're going to take another running. They're going to take.
I mean, you can get a big back in the fourth, maybe fifth.
That's what I want, a big back. I don't have to have a fast back. I want a guy who's going to run people over. Even if his speed ain't real good, Derrick Henry's speed, the running back for the Titans, his speed ain't that good, but it don't matter for him because he's just going to run everyone over.
He's pretty damn quick,
quick for a big man.
And that's what they want, though, is they are going to, whether via free agency or in the draft, they're going to get a punishing running back. Because that is going to be the game plan. They want to run 35 or more times a game.
What are they going to do with Chuba?
They're going to put him. It's going to be a running back by committee. I mean, they're going to have.
I like Chuba.
Also, like at this point, there's whoever our quarterback going into next season is, they are going to be better off for having Christian McCaffrey. And at this point, it's like, we don't necessarily trust him to stay healthy. I know I certainly don't.
Look at Sam Darnold the first 3 games.
I mean, he elevates the quarterback play, no doubt. And if we're going to draft a quarterback or if we're going to bring a quarterback in, part of the reason why you even would do either of those things is because you have Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore. So, I at this point, like, I even think trying to trade him or move him around or do too much stuff, it's like, dude, you might as well just cross your fingers, hope that he stays healthy.
Exactly.
And then if he does, you have one of the better running backs in the game that you're able to be very multiple with. And you can put him in the slot. You can line him up
running back.
And
doesn't his contract really? He's more cuttable next year or 2024.
Yeah,
right?
So if they cut him next year with a post June 1st designation, he'll give cap savings. I think it's like $14.5 million. So it's not and that's one of the reasons why, like, everybody's saying renegotiate the contract or restructure the contract. Don't do that. I'd rather
just eat it. Like, there's Moten, there's Shaq, there's 3 guys right there, and Robbie. We can just restructure. They're going to be here anyway.
Right. But that's kind of the thought process is, they're not going to restructure Christian McCaffrey because they have an out next year, and if they restructure it, then they won't be able to get out from underneath that contract next year. So I mean, I'm telling you, unless he comes out, plays a full 17 games, and it just sets the world on fire, Christian McCaffrey's not going to be a Panther after 2022. It's not.
I think even if he does that, he'll be the highest trade value he ever will be.
It'll be cheaper to trade McCaffrey than cut him.
Now, granted,
you won't. Now, if you go that route, let's back up. You're not going to get a lot from him. You're not.
This is a whole season away, though.
Yeah, if you get to a point that you have to trade McCaffrey, now you can actually trade McCaffrey after June of this year. Like I said, you won't get a lot if you can actually trade him, but
unless a team gives us
cap if you trade him
a first or a second this year, then we will move him. I believe that.
If we take a quarterback number 1, are y'all really wanting to draft a running back in the 4th with our next pick?
With the 5th, maybe?
No. Absolutely not.
I mean, dude, like, knowing how many. Dude, like, there are so many.
First string running back?
I would rather get a running back in free agency. There are so many available running backs in free agency.
But also, how about look how many good running backs end up being undrafted free agents?
Yeah.
Like, dude, Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers are by far the best at this. they'll take some capable running backs. Well, but there are teams that will take capable.
Well, guess
running
what,
backs,
Cody?
And they'll just run them.
We don't have Shanahan and we don't have Belichick. We got
I know.
What the fuck we got?
At the end of the day, that's the kind of team that Rhule wants to have. He wants to be the San Francisco 49ers. He wants to win with a running game and a strong defense, and that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to have to. That's why I'm saying, everybody's saying that we're going to go out and make a big splash trade for a quarterback. He doesn't want to win that way.
Well, I'm telling you now,
anyway,
if they can get Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, they don't matter what Matt Rhule wants, to be honest with you.
Russell Wilson is not going to come to Carolina.
I know he's not. I know he's not, but I'm saying,
I love whenever people say Russell Wilson's not going to come to Carolina, I always say, nah, Sierra isn't coming to Carolina.
I wouldn't say that either, though, because she's from Atlanta, and Atlanta's closer to Charlotte than it is Seattle.
Well, but they already said he wants to go to New Orleans, he wants to go to Las Vegas, or he wants to go to New York. That's
I honestly don't want him.
But here's the deal, though.
He had DJ Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and wasn't all that good this year.
Like, if you're Russell Wilson, why would you want to go to the Saints when it's like they're almost in? I mean, they've got a bunch of good players there, but they're in cap
75 million, boy.
Nobody knows if Slant Boy is coming back. You know what I mean? So it's like they don't have Sean Payton no more. Yeah, you don't know what's going on with Alvin Kamara now. So it's like, bro, I don't know, man. Like, it just pisses me off to think that these players, and I understand, of course, right? But to just say, nah, I'm not going there. Like, man, it's like that shows you how down we are. Like, no, who would want to come to this fucking dumpster fire we've got going on right now?
Even when we were good, nobody wanted to come here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we gotta change it, man. It doesn't have to stay that way, y'all. I hope y'all know it does not have to stay that way.
Charlotte's growing.
Charlotte's growing. We're the fastest growing city in the Southeast. There is no reason why Carolina can't be a destination
in the NBA
for free agents. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a good football team, people want to go and play for you.
Yeah. Well, it's a culture thing, and that's the problem is that with the Carolina Panthers, especially right now, I mean, our culture is not good. It's just not. And you've got, you are Charlotte is the fastest growing city in the Southeast. But you've got all these transplants of fans that are coming in that are bringing their fandom for other teams with them. And that's the problem.
And you know what? That's a good point. And that's also, as I've gotten older, you know what term I hate more and more? Bandwagon fans. Yep. Dude, I think every single fan base is built off of How many bandwagon fans do you think the Patriots have? And have had since this entire... I know Nick knows. It's like, dude, how many people?
But you need to rephrase that. How many bandwagon fans does Tom Brady have? Because Patriots fans have been around for I'll give them credit. The real Patriots fans, they've been miserable for a long time before Brady came, for sure.
Right. But a better example would be the Kansas City Chiefs. Ever since they started being ultra,
I don't know, man. That's another one, bro. That's a classic organization,
right? But I'm saying, look how many more fans. The ultimate point that I'm trying to make is that when you have a damn good football team and you continue to win, dude, those bandwagon fans, they become lifelong fans because now you're building memories that they're gonna have the rest of their life, and they're gonna associate that with the Panthers, man. That's how you build bandwagon fans into long-term fans. So when you mention those transplants, to me, we should look at them like a market. There is no reason why we should not be converting
David
all
Tepper
those
bro
into Carolina Panther fans.
Well, and that's the thing. Even for out of market fans like me living up here in the Pacific Northwest, right? How can I ask my children, my sons, to root for a team that, quite frankly, they watch me get infuriated about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my oldest son, he's a Raiders fan, and God bless his soul. But I tried to tell him, I'm Carolina is really great. And he's like, yeah, but he's like, I've seen them just disappoint you for so long.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, thankfully my youngest kid doesn't know any better, but so he's just like, oh, Panthers, cool, right? But like, you know, as he gets older, that's gonna be a harder sell.
I'm a Magic fan, Orlando Magic, and so I haven't had shit to cheer for. I haven't watched any games this year at all.
The best way to get fans is to win. Just win.
I mean, Cody, didn't you become a Panther fan because of Cam?
Yeah, 100%. I became a Cam Newton fan just when I saw his highlights on YouTube. I'm like, oh, dude, okay. If we draft this guy, I'm fucking black and blue until I die, dude. And that's like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And they did it, man. And, you know, even those first, 2011 was tough. 2012 was tough. But then, man, that 2013 season, it's like, it felt like it paid off. It's like, yes, man, this is why you're a fan of a football team until it pays off. Like, imagine you're a Bengal fan right now, and you've been through years and years and years of misery. And now you're watching the fucking coolest dude in the NFL quarterback of your football team, and everyone's talking about you like that was us in 2015, man. And it's like once you start to produce a winning culture, it changes everything.
And even in 2011, we won 7 games, and you know what I'm saying? It was fun to watch too. It's like, damn, if our defense gets good, we'll be all right. But this year was like 5 wins. Oh well, what's next?
I was a Panther fan because me and my girlfriend at the time, drove across the border. We were driving from West Virginia. We were moving to North Carolina. We crossed the North Carolina border, and I turned on the radio, and we had the radio on, and I heard the Panthers or Charlotte was getting a football team called the Panthers, and I said, "Well, that's my team," because I had just been whoever happened to be the hottest team going was one of the
But you're about to get a bunch of German fans.
Well, I really didn't pay a lot of attention to the Panthers, though. I really didn't, up until I saw one game. I saw a game in Jacksonville when Jake Delhomme went in.
That was my first game.
And I
the one he came back.
That's my quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah, he came back. Yeah,
that's my quarterback. And I fell in love with the Panthers then, and I really fell in love with them. And but I know what you're feeling. I just and granted, it was a different era. It wasn't all about running quarterbacks. But and a lot of people don't like Jake. But Jake was never a superstar quarterback. He was never going to be.
I mean, he took us to 2 NFC championships.
Yeah, he did. He was who we needed at the time. I loved his moxie.
His arm gave up.
Yeah.
And if the Patriots didn't know
some of the things he did
playbook, we would have won.
Yep. If you remember the times he would get beat up out there, he'd go to that offensive line and ball them out right there on the sideline. Every one of them.
Too. The year he got hurt, him and Tom Brady had the same touchdown to interception ratio, 8-1. And Tom Brady threw that record-breaking touchdown season.
But at the same time, and I remember Keyshawn Johnson run wrong routes and called Jake to throw a pick. Jake went out there on that, and Jake always did this. He always went out there and said, I need to play better. He didn't say the receiver messed up. He didn't say he got sacked too much. He didn't say the offensive line needs to block. He would say, I need to play better, and I need to help my teammates to get rid of the ball quicker.
Yeah, Jake had the intangibles. He doesn't have the talent sometimes.
Yeah, Cam Newton did the same thing. Cam Newton never pointed a finger at another person, not once. Right. He owned every mistake.
And Sam couldn't wait to blame Cam. That shit was hilarious.
And then another thing, too, to finish up this conversation about bandwagon fans. Like, Brad, I know you've probably been around a bunch of Seahawks fans in your time. And it's like, yes, that is another team with history. But if you look at what they've done specifically since 2011, like they have had a decade where they have been a perennial contender every year. Now, going forward, you look at Seattle as like a team that's been there. They've accomplished some things. They won a Super Bowl, almost won another one. It's like now you don't think of the Seattle Seahawks in the way that you used to before. Like they're not like the Jaguars now.
Don't forget the Sean Alexander and Matt Hasselbeck era. They were playoff teams then too.
Right, right. But it's like once you step over and win the Super Bowl and then continue to be successful in the years after, it changes things for you.
You can't be up and down.
So and that's really the thing, like especially up here in the Pacific Northwest, man. Like back in the early 2000s, you could walk around Walmart and you wouldn't see Seahawks shit everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And now, like, you literally can't. There's not a single. You literally can't go to a bar in the town I live in without seeing a Seahawks game from like 5 years ago on the freaking TV. You just can't, right? Because it's so ingrained in this region's culture because that's what they have. They don't have anything else, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
that's a great point.
And they've had a decade of sustained success, not just like a good year here or there, but like they've this is the first year, I think the first year in a decade where they've had a losing record.
Yeah, I mean they've always made the playoffs last time I checked since Russell.
By the way, they missed in 2017, but yeah.
So before we go forward, shout out to Karen Choi for the $20 love bomb. You know we appreciate you, Karen. She says, my first football memory was Steve Smith in the NFC Championship game versus the Rams. He became the reason I got into football. Watching Cam and Luke are good reasons why I'm still a fan. Those were damn good reasons to still be a fan, Karen.
That was actually
the
division. It was division around, but yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
I think we played Philadelphia in the NFC Championship.
That's when we had that's the X-Clown play,
dude.
Right?
To this day, man, watching that game, I really thought the Rams made the field goal. I didn't realize it was short. I was like, "What the fuck?"
He was the best part,
and it was short. I was like, "Let's go!"
The play before the Steve Smith touchdown to win it, the Rams defensive back he grabbed Steve Smith and ran him into the ground for like a personal foul call.
Yep.
And the very next day he just burns him.
First play of double overtime. The original Deuces.
Yeah.
Man.
Steve Smith in his prime, man. That dude was fast as shit.
He was nasty.
Yeah, he was, man. So let me pivot to this real quick. Were any of you surprised? Well, one, congratulations is due to the Carolina Panthers and the Sam Mills family. We've got another Hall of Famer, y'all. Sam Mills is going into the Hall of Fame. And my question to all of you were you expecting this? Did you think that Steve might get snubbed? What are you thinking about this, man?
Long overdue, in my opinion.
Yeah, I honestly thought that it was going to have to go to the senior committee to get him in because this was his last year of eligibility. I'm really glad it doesn't have to go that far. Like, I don't understand how you can literally be the heart and soul of an entire franchise, like ingrained in the franchise. The words keep pounding are in every single jersey. I don't understand how you can have that kind of an impact and not be in the Hall of Fame. Right?
Yeah.
Straight up, Sam Mills is the reason why I am a Carolina Panthers fan.
How does that work? Do you go in as both teams or?
They pick a team, I think.
They don't actually associate. So what I understood today, they don't actually associate. They say Sam Mills is in the team Hall of Fame, not Carolina Panthers. Sam.
But they showed a Saints jersey, which is understandable. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, as far as I heard this on the NFL radio. I don't know what it's called. It's on Sears, the NFL radio. Somebody was talking about it, and he said they made this statement that because I've never been to the Hall of Fame. I guess it's somewhere. As a football fan, you should desire to go, but they said that there's actually going to be plaques and stories from both of his careers. But like I said, I've never been there. I don't.
Hey, do y'all think there's any truth to this comment? Like a lot of Saints fans are saying,
yeah, he was all pro bowlers with the Saints.
Yeah,
he was a Saint in his prime, but I'm telling you right now. Keep pounding. He's not a.
Yeah. He means more to us.
Absolutely,
right. I understand that, but
unfortunately, the Superdome doesn't have a statue of him outside of it. I mean, that's just not how it is. And one of the other previous comments saying that Luke Kuechly needs to be next. Dude, Steve Smith. If Steve
he should have been this year.
He was better than every single one that got in today or yesterday.
Luke's
everyone look it up.
Yeah, Luke's eligible in 3 years, I think, right?
Yeah. If first ballot.
If Luke goes in, I don't know about that. Patrick Willis didn't get in. But
Luke Kuechly is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Book it.
I don't know about that. But
I said Steve Smith was, though.
I hope he is. How's that?
7-time All-Pro.
I hope to God he is, but
he should be. But
I'll be real with you. Like, if Luke gets in before Steve Smith Sr., there's something wrong with that process.
It's probably going to happen, man. I hate to say it.
I believe there's something wrong with it anyway, myself. I think it's rude. I think it's as many as there are in this league that fight and battle, and as many greats that have been ignored for too long. I think the limit that they have is just incompetence.
Right. The fact that there's a period of eligibility, right, where you can get in or just be completely ignored is ludicrous to me. Like that's.
I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of like it because in the NBA everybody fucking gets in, and it's annoying.
Well, and then you got MLB where Barry Bonds doesn't get in. How friggin' stupid! Is
Yeah,
that?
dude, that was one of my ice up picks. One of those nights. Like, dude, I don't give a damn if he was on every Mexican steroid in the history of the world, dude. You don't just hit balls like that at the rate that he did,
dude.
Like, not just anyone's doing
when he
that.
was playing. Like,
you can give me every steroid on the planet. I cannot hit a home run.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, dude, hey, I mean, this is another conversation for another time. Dude, baseball needs more steroids, dude.
Exactly, bro. I was about to say that.
If you want me to be a baseball fan,
juice them all,
dude. Juice
Mark
them
McGwire,
up.
Sammy Sosa,
and we need to get back to the times where we're hitting like 90+ home runs a season, dude.
I like my baseball players looking like Vince McMahon, WWE superstars.
They gotta look like John Cena.
Yeah, man. Like that was when I'm a '90s kid, and like growing up, dude, that was the fucking best time to watch baseball, man.
That's the really only time I've watched baseball.
Well, and you can't explain that era of baseball without Barry Bonds. You just can't.
No,
right?
No chance.
That's not a yeah.
I'm not even a baseball fan. And I know
he's probably
Barry
like
Bonds
he's arguably the best player ever.
If
arguably,
I'm gonna post a link in the chat just to let you know, and some of y'all may have seen it. If you get bored sometime this summer and you want to watch something very interesting, a year ago, or a couple years ago, probably, a couple years ago, they did a special. The NFL or the Panthers did, and they got together a 2003 reunion. I mean, this has got Jake on. It's got Mike Minter, Jordan Gross.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Steve Smith, Musa Muhammad. It's a 40-minute long video, and they all come in there. And to be honest with you, John, it don't have him on here right now, but John Fox pops in the video, and John Fox wasn't scheduled, but he just finds it. A friend gave him the link, and he pops in there.
What is he doing now? Is he still with Fox?
John Fox?
John Fox.
I think he's retired now. I don't really know what he's doing. He used to be on TV, but
he used to call the games, but I haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah, I don't think he does anything now. But
he had Peyton Manning and still couldn't win a Super Bowl. How crazy is that?
John was.
He didn't care nothing about offense. He's like, "Hey, y'all handle that."
He was all about his favorite play was 3 runs and a punt.
Exactly. 7-6, Ron Rivera style.
Yeah. It was. Oh Lord, no. Let me tell you what. That's a misconception. Ron Rivera didn't mind going for it on 4th down if he had opportunity.
But he said he loves a 7-6 game.
Chance. The only time John Fox ever went for it
twice
is during a Super Bowl. Yeah. That's it. He never did it other than that. I don't ever remember him going for it on 4th down except during a Super Bowl. And even then, the entire 2008 Super Bowl was a clusterfuck.
It would be interesting if they didn't know our plays, dude.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, the entire year we literally went to the Super Bowl on John Casey's leg. We just did.
Yeah.
Well, what's his name?
Instead of kicking extra points, we went for
our offensive coordinator. No, it was our general manager. I think he said that at halftime we just had to do plays we never ran before because they literally knew all of our plays.
Yeah. The general manager was
Marty Herney.
Marty Herney. Yeah.
I think it was somebody else then, but he said, yeah, we had to change. We had to literally call plays we never called before because they knew every one of them. They had us either scammed out or recorded or whatever.
Yeah, I could even try to find it if y'all wanted me to. Did y'all see this video that was floating around on Twitter? It was of Aqib Talib, and he was talking about that 2015 team, and he was saying that their offensive their D coordinator was like, man, the Panthers
run 15 plays.
He's like they run like 12 plays. It's like if you know the plays that they're gonna run, you just prepare to shut all those down. And
he said that. Preparing for Tom Brady, he's like, you better know plays from 4 years ago, and he's like, Panthers, but imagine how good you are. You run 12 plays and you go to the Super Bowl, like all you do all year. 12 plays.
Well, it's a testament to how unstoppable Cam was. Just doing either taking off and running when the field allowed him to,
and
or just sitting back and just chucking the ball downfield when you had the opportunities. And yes, a fantastic defense that was taking
hurt us
the ball
in the end,
away.
Did
so
it really,
my question is this: like whose fault? So my question is this: whose fault?
It was rigged.
Would you put that on? Like, is that on Mike Shula for only running a certain amount of plays, or should was that on Ron Rivera? Like,
it's on Mike Shula for not having anybody chip. How hard is it to chip? Chip Von Miller.
For hiring Mike Shula.
I don't think you're catching Cody's question. Cody, if I may, go ahead. But Cody's question isn't necessarily this. Is the question is why only have 15 plays?
Right. So why is your playbook so small? Like, and then also look, let's just be real about it, right? There was always this narrative that kind of followed around with Cam Newton too. That's like, you kind of have to dumb down the playbook for Cam, and then Cam himself said that he didn't like all the wordy stuff where it's like X25 jet set 94 blue, like all these different crazy things that they say in the huddle. Like Cam
doesn't mean you have to have 15 plays though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, that comes down to coaching to me.
Yeah, but don't you think he was being tongue in cheek, just making a point that, hey, Brady, you better know plays from 4 years ago because they're going to throw one in there. I think it was kind of hyperbole, but I know what you mean though.
Yeah, and then like Bronto says right here, man, like Talib, especially during that season, man, Talib would take any opportunity to take a shot at us. Like when Cam Newton walked out of that press conference, people don't actually remember the caveat that you could hear Aqib Talib at one of the other podiums.
He's literally right beside it.
Yeah, and he's like, well, can they throw the ball? We're going to sit back and make them throw the ball. Like pretty much like insinuating that old tired narrative that Cam Newton was only good for running it. And then when you stopped him from running, that's when you shut everything else down, which was all bullshit. But I don't
he
know.
Runs, though. He's unstoppable. And he was
that's what I'm saying. And even still, a few minor adjustments in that Super Bowl. I mean, dude, it's not like we were,
Jonathan Stewart doesn't get hurt.
Yeah,
if we had any kind of good receiver.
Or left tackle.
Man.
Like we should never let Smitty go, bro. I will stand by that.
You can even make the case that Jericho Cosgrove caught that ball, and if it did, even that would have put us in enough of a scenario to change the momentum of that game.
Dude, I went back and watched that game a couple months ago, dude, I can't watch either, man. But the amount of personal fouls they let get away of Cam getting hit, you can't do that no more. Like after that Super Bowl,
yes,
I really believe that game took a couple of years off Cam's life, dude. They were teeing off.
Yes. Also, did y'all remember the clips? Did y'all remember the clips of Michael Orr sliding backward? Like the dude is trying to get traction. The field that day was at
awful.
The 49ers stadium, wherever they play.
Santa Clara.
It was so terrible, dude. Like the people were slipping, they couldn't get traction. Our offensive line was sliding around like they were on a skating rink or some shit. And
but to be fair though, like other teams always complain about our field the same way. Like, oh, their field's awful.
Yeah.
Which our field used to be awful. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, but like
Cheap
for the
ass Jerry
Super
Richardson.
Bowl though, like if you're in the Super Bowl, it's like, come on, man, that stadium, the turf or the grass has to be pristine, man.
And,
like,
and Cody, you're right too, because like there's a clip where like when you say push back, like he literally his feet are not moving and he's sliding like he's like a machine.
Yeah, he's literally slipping backwards.
What's the machine called with the D tackles use? The sled. He was like a sled.
The sled machine.
He was like literally in the perfect stance and sliding right back. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Embarrassing, really.
Yeah, it was.
But during that, right after that Super Bowl, I heard some experienced veterans talking on TV. I can't remember the name, but they were talking that the Panthers didn't have the correct cleats for that kind of mud.
I heard that.
That they didn't have the correct cleats.
Of course, after you lose, you know how we all play sports. After you lose, you're like, I wouldn't wear my lucky socks, or I didn't have my pregame.
But they're always going to come up with something.
Yeah. I had sex before the game, so I couldn't. I wouldn't. Whatever.
And dude, and you know what? You remember the divisional round when Seattle came to Carolina? The Seahawks were bitching about that too.
Exactly.
They were having to change their cleats out. Mid game to be able to get some traction on the football field.
But we had no problem. We ran them right off. Now, to be fair, they did come back. People forget that Seattle came back at the end.
Yeah, they did.
Close ass game. Now Arizona, we took them to the woodshed. We always do.
But you remember why we won that game?
What?
Which one?
Wasn't it Thomas Davis intercepted it?
Luke Kuechly did. It was like the first play, I think.
Okay.
He
that was
3 consecutive pick sixes in the playoffs.
That was one of the best.
Remember when Tom Brady called Luke Kuechly a hole? It was raising hell because supposedly he thought Luke should got a flag.
He should.
He thought that he held Gronk in the end zone.
That was a total hold.
It was a total hold, but Luke Kuechly gets the benefit of the dude. I'm so tired of Tom Brady saying he don't get no calls. Fuck that dude.
Oh yeah, fuck him.
Fucking Tuck rule.
They made a rule.
Hey, do y'all think he's actually done?
No.
Yeah,
I think he's done. I think he is done. But the reason why I say no is if he has a chance to get to San Fran for 1 year, he's gonna do it.
Yeah, and it's like he wasn't even retired for 3 or 4 days, and he was already coming back saying, "Oh, never say never."
Well, I don't think he retired. I think his wife made him retire.
Exactly.
Well, I tell you what it really was. There's 2 things. One, his wife's like, "Hey, Tom, what the fuck?" But the second thing is, he's gonna say I'm retiring, but if the real thing is like Tampa's about to lose a bunch of their players, so that's why I think if he can go to San Fran where they're ready, then he'll play 1 more year. But he's not. Cause all them guys at Tampa Bay, they're not. They're going to get paid, dude. They stuck around for 1 year.
Does Tampa have to trade him to San Francisco?
Yes, but they will if he has a good leadership with them.
Y'all mark my words. The Tampa Bay Bucks head coach in a year or 2 will have a health problems and retire.
Duh.
What's his name?
Bruce Arians.
Bruce Arians. Yeah.
Bruce Arians.
He. Yeah.
He's already hurt.
What'll happen?
Like a sling or something, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Which he don't. That's what he did in Arizona. He once his old quarterback's gone, he can't really train a young one.
Well, he's already hurt. He's got like a sling or something in his arm or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like your boy Sean Payton.
Yeah. So hey man, I think we're so we're 2 hours and 13 minutes in. Y'all want to knock out a real quick mock draft and see what we can come up with?
Let's do it.
But they're never real quick. But yeah.
Well, I figured now we only got 5. We only got 5 people in here. We ain't got as many.
That's true.
As many people, so we should be able to knock this out. But as you will all be able to see, this is a revised list. Now they have,
the updated stuff.
Yeah, this is updated.
Yeah.
So
Evan Neal's number 1 now. That's funny.
Yeah, Evan Neal's number 1, Aiden Hutchinson number 2, Kyle Hamilton number 3. And real quick, Karen Choi with the $5 love bomb says, random question. I'm curious. If you could make an all-time Panther roster, how would your lineup look? Offense and defense?
Man.
Oh, I feel like we could all go like super fast with that. I'm taking that Carolina Panthers interior of 2015 with Norwell, Trey Turner, and Khalil in the middle. I'm taking Jordan Gross and putting him on the left. I'm taking Taylor Moton and I'm putting him on the right. I got Cam Newton at quarterback. You know, I probably have DJ Moore in there. Christian McCaffrey at running back.
Steve Smith.
Ooh.
You have to have Steve Smith.
I'll
take Moose Muhammad over.
Yeah, I'll take Moose.
Yeah, I'm not taking him over Steve.
I'll take Moose over
DJ for sure.
Yeah, same. I agree with that.
04 is it 04 Moose?
Yeah, he had like a 14.
Okay, what would you take? Would you take Christian McCaffrey? No, what running back would you take? You got to throw Stephen Davis in there. Now that man will run over
Christian McCaffrey. A healthy Christian McCaffrey for sure.
Jonathan Stewart before he got hurt. Before he hurt his ankles. Yeah, before he hurt his ankles.
Hey, I tell you what's tough though. The D line's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Linebackers will be
tough. Well, linebacker. Okay, to me, linebackers, and y'all can correct me if y'all feel I'm wrong on this. I know we've had some good linebacking cores, but dude, Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, and Shaq Thompson at the end. That was a pretty fearsome trio.
How about the Hall of Famer?
Sam Mills.
How about
too?
Mills? How about Dan Morgan? How about
still like Dan Morgan?
John Beeson.
And let's not forget Will Witherspoon.
Will Witherspoon was a beast.
Yeah.
He played middle end and I mean he played inside and outside both.
Corners will be tough.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd be as tough as you'd think. Like right now, it's tough, but I bet you if you ask that question in a year or even 2 years, you're going to say Jaycee Horn.
And dude, how about this? I mean, I know Jaycee definitely hasn't proven yet.
And Thomas Tyler in the chat, I agree. We do need a guy like Stephen Davis right now.
But like my thing is this,
that's like an ancient.
If you look at the athletic ability of someone like Jaycee Horn, man, like that guy to me could easily be an all-time corner for the Carolina Panthers. The D line is probably where it gets the hardest. I think you want prime Julius Peppers.
Yeah,
for sure.
I want K1 Short in his prime on
Chris
that
Jenkins.
team.
Chris Jenkins.
I want
Chris Jenkins for sure. Beside him.
So for D line, I'm going Pep, KK Short, Star Latulele.
Rucker.
Oh man.
What about Kevin Green, y'all? Don't forget Kevin Green was on the team at one point.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's tough.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's definitely tough.
But you know, I know I shouldn't say this, but maybe this is Nicky Pitton, but you know, some of these guys we have in today's NFL rules wouldn't make it. You imagine Steve Smith that has so many personal fouls?
No, he wouldn't.
You have taunting. You definitely have taunting.
Well, now I feel
that's what I said.
Yeah.
I used to make a joke with my friends about Steve Smith. He's like back in the day, he was the only player that got away with literally fighting on the field, and never getting ejected.
You know what though? You're right. You know what? Honestly, Jake DeLone would get a lot of them taunting penalties. He'd throw a pass to a wide receiver. He'd have to go down there and tell that DB off. He just always did.
Taunting just started this year, so let's not. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's one of the things I was about to say. Yes. I feel like the rules now they're built to favor the offense so much that Steve Smith would be the best Steve Smith that you had ever seen. If he was playing in today's game, he would be balling. But,
every now and then, I see that clip of him hitting Von Miller's rookie year on that block,
just putting him in the dirt. Oh, I love Steve Smith. God, we need some Steve Smith energy on this football team.
I remember when Ricky Parole. Well, I saw Ricky Parole on NFL Network several years ago. They were talking about when the NFL got stricter on their the no bumping after the 5 yards.
Yeah,
because
Yeah,
back
it was
in
after that
you
year.
know them days, you could do that. And
So they got 3
Ricky Prohl
interceptions.
Ricky Prohl said it's what they call it. He was trying to be nice. He said it's a weak rule. If you're a wide receiver in this league and you can't bump and grind all the way down the field, you don't need to play wide receiver. That's exactly what he said on NFL Network. Over half of today's wide receivers wouldn't have the yards, they wouldn't have the money, and they damn sure wouldn't have the highlight reels as they got now if you allowed that kind of corner play in today's NFL.
Steve Smith and D'Angelo Hall would get in fights every single time they matched up.
Yep.
And D'Angelo Hall, Steve would start it, Steve would beat him up, and D'Angelo Hall would get ejected. I'm like, what the hell?
We have to add to the defensive linemen Reggie White and Jared Allen.
Well, Reggie White for sure.
Jared Allen was only here for a year. I wasn't too much.
Reggie White.
Kevin Green.
Well, we put Kevin Green in there.
Tough, man. Reggie White has to be on that.
Hey, what about Charles Johnson?
I was about to say Charles Johnson.
I like
Reggie White, bro.
Hey, and you know who else,
CJ.
man? You know who else should? You know who else should technically be a part of this?
Who?
Greg Hardy, man.
Yes.
That
Hell
dude
nah.
for.
17 sacks, man.
I mean, look, I'm
dude was a
talking.
beast.
Forget what the man did off the football.
No, I'm
field.
saying, but
talking,
he wasn't good as the other guys.
I'm not
wasn't.
saying that he was necessarily as good, but when he was playing his best football, it seemed like Greg Hardy was going to be the next superstar defensive end. Like, I remember being so pumped that we had that dude. It's like, yes, man, Greg Hardy, the cracking, bro. Like
One day we gotta do the all-time trouble team. Like Ray
yeah, we definitely gotta do that.
There's only one number 1 pick. We already know who the number 1 pick's going to be.
With the number 1 pick of
the all trouble
Panthers.
Yeah, Ray Carew.
Ray Carew.
Oh Lord, man! But let's get on to this mock draft, shall we? I think this
took a dark turn there.
Yeah, you know that it's time to pivot when you start bringing up Ray Carew. But no, fantastic question, Karen. Thank you for the $5. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
Coolest Karen I know.
Start this thing up. Hutchinson and Kim.
They calling.
All right. Browns want us to go to 13. We get the 44th pick in the second round, and 105 in the fourth, and we give them their 6th. Philly wants us to go back to 19. We get 51. We get 83 in the third round.
Yeah, I like that one.
Now you're moving back a little bit further.
I don't like
that.
No,
pardon me. 15.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 15. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'll take that. 15.
All right, y'all want?
Oh yeah, I can see it now. Put my glasses on.
But what are we giving up, Cody? Cody, what are we giving up?
So we would be.
Hell yeah, run it.
Y'all want to do
that?
that?
I do that.
Yeah, let's trade with the
Boom.
I want to see what they take though.
It's only 2 picks back from the Browns.
Oh, they took an edge. Well, no, he's a good edge though.
Jordan Davis.
All right, I know who I'm going.
Look at there. Look at this mock, y'all. Kyle Hamilton goes all the way to the second pick to the Lions.
Possible. What is that right there?
Now,
that's the third. Okay. That's a second rounder.
Hell no.
Yeah.
No.
So this is us moving out of the first round.
You don't got
no way.
No.
This is moving all the way back to the end.
No, let's just pick.
And for a 4th round pick too? No.
Yeah,
that's a
Linderbaum.
Center. Is the center there? Is
Linderbaum.
Yeah, so we have Linderbaum.
Charles Cross is there. I love Cross.
No,
and we have Malik Willis is still there.
Linderbaum.
Could we trade back into the late round and get a quarterback? You think?
We
trade back into the first round, the late first, probably get a quarterback.
I'm just not comfortable enough with any of those second round quarterbacks yet.
No, I mean like if one of the main ones like Pickett or Willis falls.
Yeah, the problem with these mock drafts is like they're not accurately.
Yeah,
Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, we all kind of think they're going to be top 10 picks,
which is why they got to go to the combine. But that's another.
Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be one.
Thank you, Jay Subs.
Aaron Rodgers.
Me and you were on the same page, Jay Subs. We got this figured out, man.
Them guys are trying to get the extra $1 million by moving up in the draft.
Yeah, you have to,
falls, man. A quarterback.
All right, so we went with Pickett. I mean, we went with Willis last time. Y'all want to pick up Linderbaum?
I'm going with Linderbaum.
Yeah, I'm Linderbaum as well.
Linderbaum. All right, Linderbaum it is. Bam, bam. Let's see. And we were able to pick up some picks, so this should be
because I don't think anybody's going to take a quarterback right now.
Malik Willis went, didn't he?
Yeah, they had him, and they had him go to Pittsburgh too.
Steelers took him. Yeah, Steelers liked him anyway.
I mean, we could trade up right now and get Pickett.
Dude, look at Pickett falling.
We can get him right now. Pause.
There.
So
is that you, Kevin?
Exactly.
So the Giants want us to come to 36, and
second and a fourth.
Yeah, we're giving up a second and a fourth.
We can get
this year
quarterback
to go and get.
What spot are we at now?
I would do that.
51.
We're at 36.
Well,
we got 2 fourths, right?
Well,
we got.
So hold on. Is Pickett still on the board?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not for Pickett. I think he's going to be the next Kyle Allen, personally. But I mean, if you guys think that he's going to be okay, I mean,
I'd rather have Strong than Pickett, but I don't know if y'all.
I'm okay with him in the second round.
I'm okay with that.
Well, tell you what, let's accept this, and if we don't really like the board, we can hit that trade button.
Yeah, just decline it.
And I think that they're also going to want to. We're going to get a bunch of offers to potentially trade back, or once we are able to pick.
Hey, but is there a we can't look, can you?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can.
See who's there?
We figured that out last week.
I'm sure he's gone already, but
who?
Yeah,
the defensive lineman tackle from I'm sure he's gone from Georgia.
The defensive tackle or the offensive tackle?
Defensive tackle. He's probably gone already though.
No, we're strong is 52.
Oh, Jordan Davis. Yeah, Jordan Davis is gone.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Nevada quarterback's 52. I mean,
are there any quality linebackers still left on the board?
I imagine.
I'd rather take
Clark.
Brian Asamoah had a really good Senior Bowl.
Where's the what's
Chad
BPA
Muma.
right now?
Chad Muma. BPA is Pickett.
Well, boom. Yeah. That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I say let's do it, man, because again, we're gonna do a bunch of these. I think this is. Yeah, I think this is.
I mean, taking Pickett at 34 is a whole lot better than taking him at damn 6.
I agree with that, and even if he doesn't work out, we can always use him as a backup. I mean, it's not ideal, but you can't blame the coaching staff for trying if they were.
Cody, y'all want to try and play with this a little?
See if they'll take the other 5th, or take a 5th instead of a 4th.
I mean, are y'all wanting? I mean, what y'all think about Strong?
Try that, Cody.
Quarterback.
So y'all want to try that and see if we can pretend. So this is still likely. It still might not work though, but you want to try it and see if maybe we can keep our 4th rounder.
Yeah.
See if. Yeah, that's fine.
Probably not.
Hey,
yeah, they accepted.
Packing the mail. I'm gone.
Good shit. All right, we're taking Kenny Pickett with the 36th pick in the draft. Oh shit!
Super Bowl.
That's a steal.
Super Bowl.
And we got our center. See, Nick got what he want, and I got what I want.
Yeah.
We all win.
Yeah, man.
And where's my left tackle?
I'm okay with getting a QB in the second round if we somehow manage to get a second round pick. You know what I mean? But in the first round, Kenny Pickett isn't the answer in my opinion, and Malik Willis. I question if he's really worth a first round pick just in general.
This Kennard.
Where's Strong?
I'm very curious to see if they would bring Cam back, if we would be so anxious to draft a quarterback. As far as the fan base, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you know, anxious.
And if we did re-sign Cam, I wouldn't mind going after Malik Willis just because of the history that those two have.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that makes sense.
How about that edge rusher? We definitely need
check offensive line.
Yeah.
We got to get some offensive line help, y'all.
That's got to be our main.
Either that or a linebacker.
There's a defensive
Ed Ingram from LSU is still available. I know Chad Muma is still available.
We can get Muma. What pick is it now?
We're at 83.
He's 86, and we're at 83
Yeah,
right now.
just take Muma.
So that would be a good.
Take
good
Muma
pick from right
and
here.
The next pick take Muma now, and then the next pick take your boy Leonard Lindstrom.
If he's there.
Yeah, Lindstrom is still on the board
there?
too.
I mean, he can play guard, right? I know he's a center, but he can play guard too, right?
Yes, Lindstrom is still on the board, and he should be on there for another little while too. And Ed Ingram is also available too. Yeah. If I'm casting the vote right now, I'm probably going to say Chad Muma.
I'm taking
Muma.
Yeah, because we'd have to fix that inside linebacker position, y'all. It's running with Jermaine Carter Jr. I think we've seen enough out of him.
He's a backup.
That's right.
All right, Chad Muma, it is.
I'm about to be talked into wanting to switch Chin to linebacker.
Well, we all want to, but the problem is he has to do both, I guess, like a hybrid.
Hey, there's no one available that you want to get right here, right?
Just hope Lindstrom there
put.
next
yeah.
pick.
Yeah, let's stay put. Because we were able to keep our 4th round pick.
Come
I'm
on,
interested
baby.
to see how the draft plays out, man.
It's funny. All of our drafts have been pretty damn good, and we're going to take a quarterback and not have any picks.
Yeah.
Is Lindstrom there?
So y'all were talking about power backs.
Ingram's still there.
Brees Hall is still available.
I'm not taking him.
We also have.
So Lindstrom's gone?
Who
he just went.
Where did it go? No, I don't think so. No, he's still there.
Y'all want him? He can play guard.
Does he play center? Does he play guard or center?
He plays center, but you get trade.
If y'all wanna take a guard, I would say Ed Ingram out of LSU.
All right,
probably be a better pick.
I'll take it. We get a guard
and
a center and a quarterback.
Yeah, I could do that.
What?
Let's do it. Ed Ingram.
Guard, center, quarterback, and linebacker, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's
safety
literally
next.
what we need. Hey,
did y'all want to do this?
Is there a safety
Who's left on the board?
No, I just keep our picks.
Let me see.
No, fuck all that. Is there a safety there?
So
yeah, we had 2 fourths.
So
we're just swapping to go.
Dane Belton, Brian Cook, Reed Blankenship, Tariq Carpenter, Smoke Monday is still available. He's way down there, though.
Yeah. Well, we can get Smoke later on, though.
Yeah, we can definitely get Smoke later on. So is there? I mean, from
tight end, look
who's
tight end
available.
Yeah, who's
best of it? Kyle Phillips, wide receiver.
Tendo, what his name is from Georgia.
Another linebacker.
Tindall, yeah, Channing Tindall. That's
Cook
another.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Lindstrom's still there,
but we get power back anyway.
Tyreek Smith. Oh, this is the edge defender out of Ohio State.
I like him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like him too.
Yeah, 6'4", 265 pounds. That's another physical edge player.
It's a need,
multiple front defenses with the ability to play both from a 2 or 3 point stance.
Yeah, let's go with it, man.
Yeah, my vote is going to be for Tyreek Smith. Y'all down for that?
I won't be mad.
Sure.
So, all right, that means we would have to accept this trade, though.
It's just a 7th.
Yeah, you're swapping
really
fourth
just
and get up at 7th. That's cool.
All
we're
right,
going to do is
with
draft a long
that?
snapper anyway.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hey,
Boom.
we in there like swimwear.
All right. Where is my man Tyreek Smith? Let's go.
Bro, we got a center, guard, linebacker, quarterback. We are in the game. And an edge rusher.
I mean,
Yo, Kim, I just saw you in the chat, man. What's up? You can join. The link's in the description. Hell, we're about over now.
Oh, we still got to pick for the Super Bowl too, man. Don't forget that.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, after this, we're gonna talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, and then we can.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Yo, have you seen the prop bets? The prop bets are wild this year, man.
Yeah. If Snoop Dogg's gonna smoke a blunt.
Yeah. I saw one.
All right, we're back on the board. Jermaine Lowell. So, what kind of positions are we thinking about for
Safety.
right here? Let's see what tight ends are on the board.
We don't really need a tight end though.
How about a safety?
Yeah, we do. We haven't had tight end use in a long time.
We don't use
Ian
it.
He does.
We have a new OC, so let's see.
Yeah, McAdoo likes your possession style tight ends anyway. So, but
I mean, these are all projects at this point. So.
I feel comfortable taking a safety more than a tight end.
Yeah, I like to have a safety, a free safety in general, but it's whatever.
I want a long snapper.
Yeah,
right here, right now. Let's do it.
Nick Grant. Who's Nick Grant?
That man was literally saying, "Oh shit, I was
with
my agent. I was trying to work out a deal with somebody else. You fucking drafted me."
Nick Grant is a kick returner?
No, the other guy you had on there. Go back.
What? You mean
the Thomas dude?
So wait, you're telling me that you don't have to fair catch it, you can actually return it?
Yeah, Thomas, he returns 2 kicks. He's returned 2 kicks and a 95-yard interception for a touchdown.
Now hold on. I want to look at that running back list just to see.
Is Robinson there?
Robinson?
From Alabama? Is that his name?
I'm not seeing him here yet.
How about Zeus? I know he's more of a.
Not seeing him.
They got a guy with 3 names, Cameron Harris. You know he got to be good.
Cameron.
Oh, Zamir White. Zamir White. That's Zeus from. I'm telling you, Zamir White. Okay, y'all know Cam Akers, who plays for the Rams. That guy was a highly touted prospect. Ended up going to Florida State. Florida State kind of sucked. So he goes late. Yeah, he goes later on. To me, Zamir White is another version of a Cam Akers. Very highly talented coming out of high school. 5-star prospect. I think this guy would be a really good.
He would be a third stringer on the team.
He tore 2 ACLs, and it says he lost some of his explosion and athleticism.
Dude, he'd fit right in.
But this isn't the 6th round, so
an injury-prone running back. Sign me up, bro.
Dude, those are our favorite kind of running backs.
Matter of fact, extend them immediately. Draft them and then extend them immediately.
So, who are we thinking? What position are we thinking?
I'm saying safety, here? But it is.
I like that safety, Thomas.
Yeah, but
myself.
Brian Cook is the highest rated safety that they have on the board.
So pick him next round then.
6'1".
Well, it says he served as a backup behind outstanding para safeties.
I mean, this is.
He waited. He waited his turn. So.
This is the 5th round, though, right? I mean,
yeah. Are we in the 5th?
Yeah, we are.
I still like that safety, Thomas.
Hey, Cody, go to defensive tackles then. We need one.
Yeah, I mean the best one. The best available is the one on the board right now. Is defensive tackle.
Jermaine Lowell.
How big is
Arizona State? 6'2", 300. So again, he's not the biggest that you would like to see.
We need a short type of.
And by the way, when what's name got hurt last year, our D line, it kind of fell off and he got hurt. What's my man's name?
Davion Nixon.
Yeah, he started to flash a lot, in my opinion.
I have a lot of hope for Davion Nixon, man.
But unfortunately, we have history of defensive tackles.
I mean, that Nevada tight end is still on the board. I'd rather take a chance with him than draft.
So this guy was originally a wide receiver who converted to tight end.
He 239.
Yeah, but I mean that's 240 pounds. That's a tough
he
tackle
6'4"?
to make.
I'm just saying most of your wide receivers who convert to tight ends aren't really that big. I don't think.
Yeah,
because So you might want to put on a little a little more bulk. But I think Tommy Tremble is kind of that's both of them, right? Tommy Tremble's tough. He's that guy that you can put on the O-line and you know that he can block. But, if we're going to have a brand new quarterback and Pickett, get him another target, man.
Hey, is there any, speaking of Kenny Pickett, is there a bunch of, how many players from Pitt are getting drafted, you think? Like, a couple maybe? I guess what I'm getting at is he didn't have a lot of NFL talent around him, did he?
I think he really didn't.
No, he really didn't.
Tight end was good, right?
That's why I was saying I had him rated. I would have had him rated higher than Mac Jones because he did a very good job this year with less talent around him, and he's more mobile. And I actually think he has more arm talent than Mac Jones does. So
I will admit, though, some of them throws that he throws, they're going to be picked in the NFL.
Yeah, but that's going to happen with all rookie quarterbacks.
I know.
Learning what you can and can't
go to
get away with.
that linebacker Jackson from App State.
I might take another linebacker.
We took two, didn't we?
We just took one.
No, we
just took one.
Yeah. Is Muma? Oh, we already took Muma, right?
Yeah. So he's a downhill run stopping inside linebacker, 6 foot, 235.
We need a run stopper.
Well, we need an outside now, right? I mean, we got an inside. We got Muma.
Yeah, now.
But depends on what kind of offensive
outside
system
linebacker.
we run. I mean,
that's another thing. Are we more of a 4-3 or a 3-4? I kind of think we're probably going to end up reverting back to our tried and true 4-3s. Even though that's probably not the best place for Brian Burns, but
right.
So, all right, if you're asking me, my pick is probably going to be this Garrett Prince dude. It's either Garrett Prince or Zamir White. Like we're late enough.
Like Zamir White.
I don't want any of those.
So, what are you looking at here? We're
I'm cool.
I'd rather go safety or defensive lineman.
I like that safety Thomas.
I'm cool with the tight end.
We also have another
this year.
We have another interior D lineman right here, 6'4", 327 pounds.
Jeez.
He's a 3-4-0 tech, so you're gonna put him in the middle. You're basically gonna be rotating him and Derek Brown.
But to be honest, if it says at the bottom he fits a 3-4, if you go to a 3-4 between him and Brown and maybe even Nixon, you might have your big D line. I don't know.
Fitterer said he wanted to get big, so goddamn it, let's get big.
So y'all prefer to go D line right here?
I mean, I think it's smart. I mean, we definitely need some defensive lineman help for sure.
Get some more beef.
Yeah.
All right, John Ridgway.
And he has a cool name, Ridgway with the tackle.
Yep.
Yeah, let's get him, and if the worst comes to worst, we can switch Brian Burns to linebacker.
Yep.
It's where I think he is a better linebacker anyway.
Hey, what's the under-over of the DBO sign in training camp this year?
I think that's probably going to be a staple.
I bet you he will not have that thing there this year. He would not have it.
It did absolutely. Hey, look at there. Cade Mays is still on the board, Cody.
Who?
Cade Mays. I don't know why I like that dude so much, but I do.
I remember when he was
we're coming up.
Clemson was in the running to pick him up.
Yeah, he's a good guard. I don't, but
all right, we are on the board. We have
there's a safety right there for Virginia.
Corker.
Is he more of a free?
He is a developmental safety. So basically, it's kind of like a run stuffer, zone heavy type of thumper.
Damn. Well, we need some man coverage.
Yeah.
Right
who's Corker?
No.
How about
who?
Corker from Kentucky, safety.
6 foot 197. Split safety, potential 3 safety defensive concepts. Did we take a safety in the last? No, we didn't.
No.
How about that corner who was Arizona State?
We can switch from
Chase Lucas, 5'11", kind of undersized. He's a sub package corner. Yeah, I don't think I would. To me, I'm either going.
How about the corner from USC? I mean, we're gonna need it. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Eventually, we're gonna need a corner because if Gilmore walks,
195.
Jackson walks.
What about that edge rusher, Cody? Right there at 1. I can't see his name.
The edge rusher. Where do you see that?
Is that?
Jeffrey Gunter.
Coastal.
At Coastal Carolina, 6'4", 260. And they have him as an outside linebacker on a team that wants their edge defenders to set a hard edge to stop the run.
Shit.
Yeah. But what do we got for tight end?
That sounds like something we need. Set the edge.
Yep.
Ain't no tight end worth taking right here.
6'4", 252 pounds.
Most of them be free agents.
Yeah, exactly.
So y'all want to take one of those safeties?
I'd rather have a safety or another linebacker.
I like that guy who can set the edge.
Or another guard too.
That sounded.
I wouldn't be
cool.
against that.
Who's left for guard?
Yeah, go to guards.
Guards.
Or
James
tackle.
Empey had to be.
Yeah, check tackles out. We could use a tackle though.
Brady needs a backup.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Probably. We're probably getting pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty
I think
low.
guard's more like doable.
Tyler Vrabel.
Hey, shit, he's solid.
Vrabel's son.
He's a son.
Dude, that's what I was wondering. Is that?
It says it right there.
It says right there. It's
yeah,
he had
it is.
2 seasons spent at left tackle and 1 at right tackle. He's
And they said you might
physically and
be-
aggressively blocker.
Well, he's going to get drafted no matter
inside.
what.
I like it, man. You're a son of a football player. That's always ends up pretty good, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he
we
does
have a good. We have a good history with Boston College players.
Do we have another pick, or is this our last pick?
I think we got one more.
We could probably take him later.
It says he's a developmental swing tackle that could likely switch into guard.
Yeah, y'all want to take Vrabel?
I'd take.
Right
You
here?
want to wait?
Yeah,
I mean, we could probably get him later.
I mean, who else would you take?
What was that?
I mean,
trade back, Cody.
No,
trade back.
I think we traded our 7th, didn't we? We did trade our 7th.
We did
Yeah,
trade.
trade
Yeah,
back.
this is probably. Let me check. This is Texas.
If this is our last pick,
yeah, this is our last pick.
Yeah, see if they'll give us all those.
Why
not?
Nah, take that tackle,
Say
bro.
no.
Take that
I'm
tackle.
not opposed to the tackle.
Nah,
That way we can tell Cam Irvin to pack some bags.
Yeah.
We get the swing tackle we need.
Yeah.
So we're taking Vrabel. But who are we taking?
I'm down for Vrabel.
I'm down for Vrabel.
I'm not mad.
All right, adding some depth.
We did it, guys. Super Bowl.
That's it.
Mike
Oh,
Vrabel,
shit.
eat your heart out.
Isn't this
That's right.
this literally best case scenario? Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get Linderbaum and Kenny Pickett.
I mean, our first 4. I mean, best case.
Well, but could you imagine realistically though what would have to happen to knock Kenny Pickett out of the first round
It happens.
completely?
What was the last quarterback? He was supposed to projected a first round. He went to the second.
Jimmy Clausen.
Jimmy Clausen.
Was he a first? Or projected?
He was a second.
Yeah.
He was
first.
projected.
Yeah. He was projected. Jimmy Clausen was projected in the top 10 of the first round.
Well, was he at New York, for the draft?
No.
Geno Smith happened. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He was there for the
But,
draft, and then he got drafted in the second round.
This is a solid draft, man, for real. Muma.
Yeah, man.
We got some guard.
Linderbaum, Pickett,
Edge.
Muma, Ingram, Smith, Ridgeway, Vrabel.
Straight up, if we pick up Linderbaum in the first round, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'd rather trade back and still try to get him, but you know what? If we take him at 6, I am not going to be upset with that. Center has been an issue for far too long, and I get that Matt Paradis will still owe him money, but man, we needed to fix that.
What do y'all put any stock into what they said about Deontay Brown playing center?
I mean, he could.
I mean that was a thing, right? That he's been taking a lot of center snaps. That's what.
Is he smart enough to play center? I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, I don't. I think Deontay Brown volunteered that he wanted to try out center next year.
I think he just wants to start.
I think you got Brady Christensen confused.
So just put me at center.
I just couldn't believe that they just let Von Miller ride like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Brady Christensen took he was at the sideline in one of the games and taking practice snaps at center.
Now that Deontay Brown center thing could have been because we were so depleted at center at the end of last year too.
I don't think Deontay Brown ever. I really think you've got him and Brady Christensen confused on the center part. The only thing I ever remember anything about Brown.
No, he said
Deontay Brown center as at the end of the year.
Yeah.
When he was doing his little interview, he said that he would like to take snaps at center.
Deontay Brown he was practicing for center a lot during the year. Is what he said in his exit interview.
Yeah. So, I mean, looking at this draft, man, I think this is a damn good draft.
Really unrealistic, but yeah, I love it.
It's unrealistic, but a lot of these are going to be until free agency. You know, once we get closer to time, you know, we'll have a more accurate mock draft. But dude, I think this is great, dude. Offensive line, we got our quarterback, a new inside linebacker, another interior player.
Don't be surprised if Willis falls out in the first round too. I think that could happen.
I don't know. So one more topic before we get out of here, man.
Super Bowl XVLWYC4.
The Superb Owl. Let's talk about it, man. Who y'all got in this this coming up Super Bowl, bro? Just whoever wants to jump in on it. We're going Rams or Bengals.
Bengals.
I want the Rams to win just that way Matt Stafford gets a ring, because let's face it, the guy deserves it. Just for dealing with Detroit for as long as he did. But I think that there's a very real chance that Cincy can pull this off. So I'm gonna go with Cincy.
All right, so
I can go next year.
Yeah. Do you think, man?
I think that the hell with Matt Stafford. I think that one person is gonna wreck this game because he wants this thing more than anybody I've ever seen. The way he pulled the team together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they said he's never done that before. He's not vocal at all. I think Aaron Donald is gonna wreck this game, and Von Miller is gonna tag team him, and you'll have a chance to see Von Miller Super Bowl MVP or Aaron Donald Super Bowl MVP. Rams win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 30-17.
Yeah, that's that. I think that's the question that this is going to come down to, is that offensive line. You know, are they going to be able to hold up against that D line? That
you know what I heard? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I heard today. I didn't know this. I heard this on Sal Paolatonio was talking on ESPN Radio, and this was on my way home from work. He was saying that the Rams secondary run nearly all zone. That's all they run is zone.
Yeah, because they can get there before, so they just
put their zone coverage corners. And I know they got the corners but you put their zone coverages against them speedy wide receivers that the Bengals got.
Well, I think
they're gonna have to. Too, right? If the Rams win this game, it's got to be with their D line. They cannot. I don't think they can outshoot. I don't think they can outshoot the Rams. I got that backward. But I just think the Bengals could find a way to pull this out. With the running back Mixon, if the running game gets going,
but do you think you can get
a couple deep passes? I don't see any corner that the Rams have that can cover all them wide receivers, because they've got three stud wide receivers that's got a lot of speed. I don't see any of them that that's going to be able cover them.
Yeah, Nick, there was another guy who jumped in and was like spamming shit in the chat.
Okay.
I didn't even recognize him.
So that's not me.
No, there was some other guy that was trying to. It was some other douchebag trying to trick me into thinking that it was you, trying to get back in and show his dick at the last second. Probably.
Jesus saves,
dude. Like, I was low key kind of freaking out because this laptop is solely for work and back when I was in college.
Oh no!
Like, I have never done anything on this that you aren't supposed to. You know,
wink, wink.
Gonna leave that open to interpretation.
yeah.
So it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Nah, you're good, man. Yeah, Kevin, what you thinking, man?
I think the Rams blow them out. I think
it's not gonna be a blowout, man.
I think the fantasy dies. I think the Rams are going to destroy them, expose the offensive line like they did with us.
To be
Kevin,
like Von Miller.
Happens, how fast
my desire is for the Rams to get humiliated. I think their head coach is overrated. I do not like their GM. I think he's a pathetic piece of shit. And I don't like how he built his team. I mean, to be bluntly honest, I heard that he has a sign on his desk, and there's a poster. No, there's a poster on the front of his door, and it said "fuck you and your draft picks."
Hey, man,
to me,
win,
that's a simple solution. Is the guy's obviously an idiot and can't draft talent.
But to be fair, though, sometimes the draft's a crapshoot, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but let's be honest. If the Rams win this year, there's no guarantee they're going to win next year.
They don't give a shit.
There's zero guarantee they can put everything together.
Dude, there's not a guarantee we're going to be living tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
So, Kenneth, are you predicting the Bengals, or are you?
Yes.
Are you? So you think the Bengals win?
He hates the Rams.
I don't even think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I absolutely. And I guess it's a personal decision. I think the Rams are. I do not like how the Rams are built.
I do agree with you though. Sean McVay was in full panic mode that game. All of his timeouts, challenges, he was like, "Fuck it."
I mean, with all that they've spent to get where they're at, what happens if the Rams lose?
So my thing is this, right? They don't have a first round pick until 2024.
And they're probably
I thought it was 24 because they don't have one. I know they don't have one this year.
Or that pick next year.
Yeah. So look, a lot of people, I feel like they're putting all their hopes and dreams onto the Bengals because either they love Joe Burrow or they see some kind of resemblance or connection with the Panthers or whatever team, like America wants the Bengals to win. Yeah. That's undisputed. But I have learned better than to just go on hopes and dreams, right? And they say that defense wins championships. So to me, this is an either or. I think the Rams absolutely destroy them. And Aaron Donald and Von Miller and Leonard Floyd, they just
James Ramsey.
And they just play aggressive. Or Joe Burrow cements his legacy as one of the baddest motherfuckers ever. Because I looked up a stat, like in Gotta Have It football games, dating all the way back to his time at LSU. Like, you have to win this game or else your season is over.
Cody,
Joe Burrow is undefeated
even
in have to have it games, man.
So was Cam Newton.
See, here's the other thing that I'm going to look at too. It's what it's all going to come down to is how Matt Stafford plays.
Yeah,
I honestly think that is going to be.
I disagree. I think he can play mediocre and they can still win. I really do.
My thing is that
if they can't run the ball, because let's be real, like having the Rams shut down every running attack. Now, granted, they haven't played great running attacks, but
the Rams defense is real good in the middle, is it not?
But I would say
I echo the sentiments of Karen exactly. I'm rooting for Joe. I want the Bengals to win just like everybody else. But like my mind, all my logic is telling me that it's a bad matchup. And by the way, like to me, like, yeah, I think Stafford all he has to do is play okay. Like
I will say this though, Cody.
If he distributes the ball, they should be okay.
The Bengals have had 7 takeaways this postseason.
Yeah, and 4 of them Tannehill.
2 of them against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Dude, it ought to be fun, man. I'm Cody, actually excited for the Super Bowl matchup.
Before we go, for example, Joe Burrow loses the Super Bowl. It's so funny how the NFL is so reactive. It's like all of a sudden it's like,
yeah,
you know, like you can't build through the draft. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's just this whole narrative that Cincinnati has built through the draft. It's kind of true, but if you look all the good free agents they brought in on defense, they kind of did both. I think they have 8 players that they signed in free agency.
Yeah.
So I just think that you'll see a big narrative change. If the Bengals win, Joe Burrow is gonna be the hottest thing since Tom Brady.
Oh, dude, and like
already calling him that.
You look at that's what I'm saying. You look at how they're talking about him right now.
Tom Brady,
dude, if he's able to, and let's just say that they kick his ass up and down the field, and he still manages to pull off a W. Dude, that guy is going to be an instant legend, dude.
If I can add.
Oh, and shout out to Off Grid. This is probably the only halftime show that I can ever remember being excited to watch.
Yeah.
I am so pumped for that.
Stafford, Hafford, Mafford. Go crazy.
Kendrick Lamar is my favorite rapper of all time. So it's like
of all time.
Kendrick. Yeah, bro. Kendrick over everybody for me, man. I love Kendrick.
I'm more of a J. Cole fan, but I'm from North Carolina, so.
Hey, I'm still waiting for them to drop that fucking collab album, man.
Well, you better be waiting for
I know,
David Tepper to make a good move.
Old school Eminem for me.
The Bengals head coach.
Zach Taylor.
Did he not come from the Rams organization?
Yes. Well, they coached together.
Yes,
he did.
One thing I want to get at though is the one thing that I will resemble this defense from the Broncos defense that defeated us. They actually have a better offensive coordinator. Yes. That rush is good, but you throw a few of them slant routes, you throw a few of them quick drops to the running backs or the tight ends, they're going to wear your ass out.
That's true.
The ball is going to get out. Then once that starts and the Rams get Raheem Morris tries to bring in safeties and corners closer to the box.
I just can't help it, man.
Higgins gets open or Chase gets open. I'm sorry.
I'm rooting for Aaron Donald, man.
What's that corner? He ain't going to catch him.
Aaron Donald is like one of the greatest players of all time. He plays defensive tackle, so he's not impactful, but like, dude, when you get triple team,
whoever says that Aaron Donald isn't impactful,
they're saying he don't flash. I'm like, dude, he's getting triple team.
Yeah, dude, that's the
but that's and I like Aaron Donald. Don't get me wrong, but the guys has a history of injuries, and I'm sorry, call it dirty all you want.
He has 3 grown men holding him every play, bro. You're gonna get hurt, and he's still averaging 20 sacks a season or some shit.
Wait, what injuries has Aaron done? I don't.
He got hurt last year with ribs. Only thing I remember last year was ribs.
Oh, okay. But to me, it's not even
he has a history of knee injuries. I don't know that's true.
To me, Aaron Donald, it's not just Aaron though. It's Aaron on top of Von Miller, and we all know firsthand that Von Miller will wreck some shit in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, if you have a shit left tackle, he will destroy it.
Hey,
that's what I'm saying. And they're already let Joe Burrow get hit 9 times against the Tennessee Titans, man. Like, dude, that's what I'm saying. To me, it's either or. Either Joe Burrow becomes a fucking legend
that's a shootout
that we're going to be talking about forever, or this Rams defense is going to do what we think they're going to do.
And it's a home game.
Or Matt, is it really though?
Yeah.
But actually, that's a good question, right? Because I heard that. Okay, so everyone knows there aren't a ton of LA Rams fans, but I also heard that a lot of Bengals fans are basically being priced out of it.
Everybody's being priced out of it.
The price.
$20,000.
The Super Bowl is no longer a fan event.
No, it's rich.
Yeah. Right. Especially now in LA.
Hey Cody, speaking of Cam Newton and Von Miller, has has that one episode released yet with Cam talking to Brittany? I gotta see that shit. That was
yeah. No, actually, it released a few hours before I went live with this.
Oh man.
So yeah, you can check that out. Talking to Brittany Renner.
I believe
that's gonna be hilarious.
I personally believe the Super Bowl ought to be played in some upper north states where the weather's not always pretty. I think it's unfair to teams that are the Bengals, for example. The Bengals are.
Bro, you don't want that, man.
You do not want that.
Coming from somebody who lives in Massachusetts, you don't want that. Today
I
was
do.
absolutely beautiful. It was 50
The game will be
I drove home with the windows down and the sunroof open on the truck.
And the reason
why I want to watch the Bills and
Patriots. The reason why I say that
every time.
And where the Super Bowl today was 80 some or 80 anyway. They were talking today that I didn't even know this. That stadium doesn't even have air conditioner. So
it don't need to, bro. It's LA, bro. It's like 60 degrees all time.
They're gonna lose power all the time anyways.
I have absolutely zero desire to ever go. But that being said, in Cincinnati, what's the weather in Cincinnati been?
Probably cold. It's been cold everywhere on the Eastern.
Exactly. Yeah, so they're going to go there, and they're going to go to LA and play a game where it's pretty warm or hot.
No offense, bro, but that's
the
dumbest shit I ever heard.
To them. And besides that, I want to see all these rich, stuck-up bastards that go to the Super Bowl. I want to see them go sit in a Buffalo Bills stadium in the middle of dead winter just to get their ass snowed.
It's the biggest game of the year, man.
Let me ask
like I said, I'd be all right with it. The
NFL they could allow
I'd be all right with
team fan bases who has has their own personal seats.
Give the game back to the fans.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah, you get a bid. It's like a third.
But this is also one of the reasons why all the new football stadiums being built, they're all domes.
Domes, yeah.
Because all these teams want to be able to bring a Super Bowl to their city. So it's like, dude, and there's a far-flung future where there are no football teams that play in an open-air stadium anymore.
Lambeau.
That's going to be sad.
David Tepper said, "Ain't no way you have it home."
And on top of that, let's not only forget the fact that there are people out there that will not go to football games in the rain, in the cold, in the snow,
especially if the team sucks.
Yeah. And let's be real, most of them tickets are resale tickets. They bought them and now they're reselling them to make money.
I was looking at game price tickets. It was a game in Cleveland with Carolina, and my buddy's he's a Cleveland Browns fan, and the cheapest ticket was $6 because it was in the middle of December.
Oh, dude, but that was also when they were terrible, right?
Yeah,
they were.
I was like, still $6. Yeah. I'm like, shit.
Dude, when the ticket's cheaper than the beer, you got a problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, boys, we have had a tremendous Friday free for all. We've been 3 hours and 6 minutes, man. Fantastic show. We brought in had a damn good mock draft too, man. Picked up some good players, bro. I think we did it. We did it, chat.
I'm hoping
we did it.
In the
I
chat,
hope
not Matt Rhule. We did.
The chat said, "Who is the guy? Who is the guest to the right of Cody? The guy is a clown."
Y'all gamblers out there.
That's fine. Hey, you know what? I'm okay with that. You want to know why I'm okay with that? Because I think that the Bengals are going to win because of Eli Apple.
Oh yeah.
Yo, could you imagine his
talking to him? Call me a clown. I will do clown things.
What happens if he picks off Stafford 2 times? That's
the thing about Matt Stafford is he's going to throw you
he
one.
Might.
You got to catch it.
Yeah, but hey, dude, Matt Stafford throws some pick sixes now.
And Cincinnati Bengals been intercepting some balls lately.
He had the most this year. He had 6. It's hard to do like 3. It's hard to do 1 in a year. This dude did 6 pick sixes this year.
Yeah, he had the most pick sixes. So I wouldn't doubt it if Eli Apple got him one. And that's another. Yeah, I think that the Cincy defense, probably
underrated for sure.
Yeah, they got Trey Hendrickson in his first year. That guy broke sack records for him. Like, they're underrated, man. They've got some dudes, but it ought to be fun, man. I hope y'all all enjoyed your Super Bowl Sundays, man. Everybody be safe. Be with family, be with friends, eat some good food, man. And
I need a shit ton of Jack King line
that loud pack going up.
Be smart, don't drink and drive.
Yeah, that's right. Don't drink and drive, man. But
I'm a drinking gamble.
Maybe light some ceremonial herbs to get the room scented properly. You know what I mean?
It is in LA. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and Snoop Dogg's gonna be there, so everyone's gonna have a contact high anyway, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But gentlemen, I appreciate each and every single one of you for being on the show. Everybody that participated in the chat room, who hit the like and the subscribe and the share. Be a friend, tell a friend, man. We're having fun here over on the C3 Panthers podcast. Me and Tony will probably upload some content tomorrow. Maybe a Super Bowl themed debate might take. Maybe even a film room might drop tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that, y'all. But I'm your host, Cody Lashme, once again on the Friday Free For All. Until next Tuesday at 9, keep pounding.
Peace.
Pounding.